Well, I guess it's time. It's 7 o'clock. So, how's everybody doing? It's been a week full of news. And we'll talk about it. But let's say hi to everybody here. Welcome. Good to see you. Style Fox. Number one. He was number one again. You guys can't let him be number one every time. Just kidding. I'm kidding. It doesn't matter. The point is you're here. That's what's important. And Rufus the Red is here. Welcome. Movie Mike, Cosma, Ninjinzu, Carbonite. Good to see you guys. Thank you for being here. So yeah, the Oscars. I mean, look, I haven't seen nearly enough movies this year. I still need to see Conclave. I still need to see Wicked. I still need to see, let's see, The Brutalist. There's a lot of movies. There's just a lot of movies, and I just haven't seen them all. So I still want to see A Complete Unknown because, you know, my boy, Timothée Chalamet, won Best Actor at the SAG Awards this last weekend. So, you know, could be a thing. I want to see it. Because I'm a fan. I just check here when I get off work and no one says anything. Style Fox, it's all right. It's okay. And BC, welcome. Good to see you. No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die. Yeah, it'll be interesting. We'll talk about we'll talk about that. Never been a big Oscars guy myself. I do not watch enough new releases to make it relevant for me. Movie Mike, I understand that. And on top of that, a lot of the ones that seem to be in the running for like Best Actor, Best Actress, you know, all those. There's a lot of movies that, while good, some of them don't last. I mean, not all of them. Not all of them. Sometimes there's some really popular movies, some really good movies that you can watch over and over that end up in the running. But a lot of times it's like The Substance is a great example of a movie that I enjoyed watching it. I'm excited for Demi Moore. Maybe she'll win. Maybe she won't. Maybe Mikey Madison will win for Andor. I don't know. All I know is I don't want to see either one of those again. I don't want to see Andor again. I don't want to see The Substance again. It's just, they're not movies that... Now, Dune Part 2, I think I've watched 3 times since I bought it. So, but it's only up for Best Picture. And Denis wasn't even up for Best Director. So, look, it's a thing. It's a thing. But I figured if somebody was going to watch and we were going to, you know, we were going to have a chat about it in the premiere chat and just kind of, you know, chill out and go, hey, that was crazy. And Conan O'Brien is hosting. So it's kind of like, I kind of feel like I need to at least give it a shot for a while because Conan. But I get it. I totally get it. I used to look forward to, I mean, it was like my Super Bowl, you know, the sports, the athletes, the sports people, they look forward to the Super Bowl. I looked forward to Oscar Sunday. It's just, that's the way it was because I'm a nerd. I'm a movie nerd and I have been for a very, very long time, but doesn't mean that, hey, you know, could be fun. It could be fun. It could be fun. Will Smith isn't at the Oscars, so I'm not watching. Yeah, he's banned for how many? I don't know how many years since the slappening. I don't know. I need to catch up on nominated movies, but I'll watch the Oscars. That's my Super Bowl. See, there you go. Carbonite. There you go. And KP Senti, welcome. Good to see you too. Welcome. It wasn't God that gave me this face. It was you setting the timers for 3 minutes instead of 6. What's that? What's that from? I don't know what that's from. Picked up the Blu-ray for Goonies from the library today. We'll be watching soon. KP Senti, I would love to hear your thoughts. Because again, I always find it really interesting for those movies that people grow up on. You know, they grew up with it. They've watched it countless times as they, when they were a kid. And then somebody that doesn't have that connection to it, they watch it and they go, yeah, I don't get it. That's the way it was for me for Beverly Hills Cop. I watched it and I went, yeah, I mean, I get it, but it's fine. I'd rather watch Lethal Weapon again. I'd rather watch Die Hard again. But hey, that's just me. That's just me. Yeah, 10 years over a little slap. 10 years. And no, I haven't been canceled or anything. Derek, welcome. Good to see you. Squiggles, what's going on? Good to see you too. Yes. A hearty good day also. Bucho is here too. Wow. Gosh, everybody's here. Good to see you guys. GoldenEye 006 said it. Oh, the timer. The timers. I forgot about that. Good call, BC. Good call. It's been a while since I've seen GoldenEye. It's a good movie. In fact, it may be in the top 5 Bond films of all time. GoldenEye. Yes. I just wasn't on the level. As soon as I saw that, I'm like, oh yeah, of course. Friggin' Alec Trevelyan, played by the magnificent Sean Bean. Magnificent. Just a great movie. Any movie that's got Joe Don Baker in it. Did you hear my knuckle pop when I did that? You probably didn't. But anyway, good actions have consequences. There should have been assault charges. Chris Rock's mom saw that. Well, I mean, yes. I mean, look, Will's lucky that it wasn't worse. Okay? Because come on. It was not that big of a deal. I'm talking about the joke. The joke was not that big of a deal. That's what I'm saying. I'm so biased on Goonies, it's impossible for me to imagine anybody not loving it. I know. It's such a lighthearted whatever, but there's a lot of people that I know that have said, yeah, it's okay, but it's not like, whatever. Other award shows that got overlooked, like BAFTAs, Critics' Choice, Independent Spirit Awards, Award This, SAG, PGA, WGA, Taurus World Stunt Awards, Filmfare Awards, along with Cannes and other film festival awards. Well, absolutely. I mean, you're not wrong. But I mean, Oscars is, you ask anybody. You ask the random folks. Oscars are number 1. Golden Globes may be number 2. When it comes to, I would think that if I was an actor, a SAG award would mean a lot because it's the actors that vote for that. If I was a writer, if I was a director, whatever, these specific awards from your peers, I think that means a lot. But when it comes to, there's not a whole lot of awards that get put on posters, you know what I mean? From Academy Award winner such and such. No. From DGA winner such and such. It just doesn't happen. You see Oscars, you see Golden Globes maybe, but other than that, it's pretty much what you see. But hey, I'm happy for good old Timothée Chalamet, my boy. He's my boy. I just love that guy, and I think that he's positioned himself to be one of the best actors of his generation, and I think that's great. I think that's awesome. So take that. I grew up with a few James Bond games, but never actually watched any of the movies. Well, Squiggles, here's the thing. You gotta set those expectations kind of low, because there are some good James Bond movies, some good ones, a couple of great ones. Most of them are fine, and then there's a couple that are pretty bad, honestly. There's some that are really not that good. And the Razzies, sure. But nobody's going to put a Razzie on the poster either, Sean Bean always kills it. Even the 10 minutes he was in Ronin, he was great. Absolutely. Every single... I can't think of a bad Sean Bean performance. I can't. Can you? I don't think so. Sean Bean's great. And yes, Style Fox, I got it. I got it. I forgot about that. I forgot about that line. Like I said, I wasn't thinking of GoldenEye. I was like, what is this? Timers? I'm sorry. Oscar qualifications are rigged and too political. Box office and my dollar is the awards that counts. So basically, if anybody wants to know what a good movie is, just check out what Shozama watches. Because apparently that's the thing. That's the end all be all. I was actually kind of curious. 27%. Okay, so basically a quarter of you guys may be up for watching the Oscars. And again, Conan is hosting. I think that'll be fun. I think that'll just be fun. Now, I don't know. Depends on if I'm home or not, because things are planned for this weekend. So I'll just leave it there. Things are planned for Sunday. We'll see what happens. But I would like to watch it. I gave up on award shows after Eastbound and Down didn't receive any awards. I mean, that's a thing. I hope Amazon has Greta Thunberg as the new James Bond. No, please don't. Please don't do that. Please don't. But we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that in a bit. But you know what? We need to just I think I messed up. And I should have done this earlier. Let's see. That and let's see. That goes here and that goes here. Yeah, we should talk about, let's start off. Look, there's a lot to talk about. We got the Kathleen Kennedy thing. We got the Andor trailer. We got James Bond. We got and other things. There are other things that happened as well that I want to talk about. Well, why don't we talk about the things that I watched this week? Huh? First up. Now, here's the thing. And I didn't realize it until I was watching it, looking at the back and going, okay, yeah, there's some special features on here. Some pretty good stuff. Pretty interesting stuff. Let's see, when did this come out? Oh yeah, 2014. This came out. I'd only seen this one time. But I watched it when I was still in recovery. So no telling what I was on. What mixture of, what cocktail of pain medications / whatever. Because 2014 is when all the things went down with the Crohn's and the surgeries and all that, right? So I didn't remember all of this movie. Watching it again, I was very impressed. This is a really good movie. Is it my favorite Tom Cruise movie? No. Is it up there? Yes. This is a really, really good movie, and I'm really glad that I got it cheap. I think I got this for like $11, $12. Good. This was a good. This one is a good. If you haven't seen Edge of Tomorrow, give it a shot. Is it actually Edge of Tomorrow, or is it Live, Die, Repeat? I can't remember when the movie came out, what was the actual title? Because here's the thing. It says Live, Die, Repeat on there, but look at this. It actually says Edge. Hello? Edge of Tomorrow, Live, Die, Repeat. Like, I don't know. Like, what was the title when this movie came out? I don't know. All I know is that this movie's awesome. This movie's great. You should watch it. Kathleen Kennedy is the new Bond. I mean, maybe. I posted my general movies, my recent movies. You did? Okay, well, hey, give me a second. Let me get through my stuff before we get into your stuff. Okay? Just kidding, shows up. Just kidding. By the way, good call out on the movie. That's, what was it? Yeah, The Fall. That is a movie that, again, one of those movies that a lot of people like really, really talk about that movie as being like beautiful and all that stuff. The Fall is coming out on digital on February 28th. So just a few days from now, Friday, it should be coming out. So if somebody wants to watch The Fall, which is is it Tarsem? I can't remember who made that. Why don't we look? The Fall. No. Lee Pace. Tarsum Singh. Yes. So this movie is very famous for being beautifully shot. Kind of one of those where it's an odd film. Apparently, I've never seen it, but yeah, freaking Lee Pace. I'll just say it. I don't even care. I don't even care. Lee Pace is probably one of the most beautiful men on the planet. He's just a pretty man. He is. I don't think look, that's not a controversial statement. And this isn't me being, oh, it's 2025 and I didn't know. I'm just saying the guy's pretty and a really good actor. So there you go. Think Edge of Tomorrow was the release title. Was it? Okay. I just remember seeing Live, Die, Repeat. And I'm like, wait a minute. What's the movie called? Is it Live, Die, Repeat or is it Edge of Tomorrow? I remember it being like kind of confusing to me back then. But then again, it came out. 2014 was a weird year for me. Okay. So who knows what I was thinking. Been watching season 7 of the X-Files and it's great. Yeah, we were watching a bit of the first season just the other day, my wife and I. And I mean, of course, it's crazy. Gillian Anderson, David Duchovny are like so freaking young. It's kind of like, oh, look how young they are. They look so cute. But yeah, I love the X-Files. I have no problem saying that I used to love the X-Files. Now, as it got into the later seasons, things started to get a little weird. Things started to lose a little focus. I wasn't a big fan of some of the later seasons, but I still watched it every single week. That was one that I made plans to watch. I loved it. Did I ever get around to watching A Bronx Tale? That's a must, and we had just told Squigs to check out that one too. BC, I did. And it's your fault for not knowing that. Yeah. No, I did watch it. I did like it. Chaz Palminteri was fantastic. I was expecting more. I guess I was expecting more De Niro in it, but he's really kind of a subdued character, but I really did enjoy it. It was a I can't remember. I know what it was. So it's kind of like when he's a teenager, the main character is a teenager, is where I felt like the movie, I wouldn't say fell apart, but the acting was a bit, a little shaky at that part. But I do remember that Bronx Tale. I can't remember his name. Is it Lilo? Lilo? Yes. Lilo Brancato, who was also in Crimson Tide as Vossler, if you remember Crimson Tide. But if you look, Lilo Brancato was born on 30th of March, 1976. That is my exact birth date. So we share the exact same birth date. So kind of cool. Lilo Brancato. But yeah, I mean, I did enjoy it, but I felt like I said, I think that the acting, I mean, that was his first role, Lilo's, playing the older kid, but yeah, it was okay. I felt like it should have, I would have liked it to have stayed as him as a young man, younger. I don't know, but I did like it. We need less pretty boys and someone more rugged like Lady Gaga. I mean, had no idea it was a story Chaz wrote about a murder he witnessed. Yes, it's very interesting. Very cool. Heard it on a Joey Diaz podcast. I didn't know that. Pose naked in the chat like the rest of us. I mean, Billy, only you can do that. Well, yeah, Jade doesn't really do that either. But hey, I mean, more for you. Yeah, Sopranos. Yes. Lilo was in prison quite a bit. The actor that played Young C was Weevil in Veronica Mars. Totally unrecognizable. I did not know that. I did not know that. But let's do this. I also watched The Exorcist. Now, this is the UK version. This is a 4-disc set. The reason that I wanted the UK version is, number one, this was cheaper than the big bad crazy set that was, that sold out really fast and was really expensive. This, I think, was only like $23. But it includes everything that's on, as far as visually, it includes everything that's on that set. In that big bad set, the Bible set or whatever. But of course it doesn't have all the extra stuff, as far as like, tchotchkes and little doodads and knickknacks and paddywhacks and, all that stuff, right? Doesn't have any of that. It's just all the content that was on those discs is on here, except for the 5th disc. And the 5th disc actually has two little featurette. They're not really featurettes. They're like extra features, I guess. And they're about 20, 25 minutes each. And those are both on YouTube. So I said, this is the one I want, because also this has the cover that I wanted. And I know that's one of those things where you're like, really? You care about the cover? Well, when it came to The Exorcist, yes. Yes. Now, what I did was I watched the movie 4 times total in the last week. There's the extended director's cut, which is I think it was right around 2000, I think, is when he did the version you've never seen. Well, the director's cut adds some things and changes a couple of things here and there. But this is supposedly William Friedkin's final version, I guess, of The Exorcist. But I prefer the theatrical. And what's cool about this is that, yes, in 4K, you get both. On the extended cut, you get a commentary by Friedkin. On the theatrical cut, you get a commentary by Friedkin, and then also what do they call it? It's not a commentary. It says a commentary by William Peter Blatty, but it is not screen specific. It's literally like an interview that takes place for like the first hour or so, and then there's some sound tests between what was recorded on the day with Linda Blair as Reagan doing the voice work, right? And then the voice work that was put on top of that. And it's about 15 minutes of this actress. I can't remember her name. The actress that did the voice, the demon voice of Linda Blair, of Reagan. But that was actually really cool to hear. So anyway, so again, watch the extended version the way that it was. Then I watched the extended version with the commentary. Then I watched the theatrical version with Friedkin's commentary. Then the 3.5 times, because once the sound effect stuff is over, it just changes over to the regular movie. But then I watched all the special features, and including the 2 that were on YouTube. And I got to say, this is a great movie. It really is a great movie. I think the theatrical version is actually better, even though there are a couple of scenes that are added in the extended cut that I think are worthy. But man, and the fact that, okay, here's the crazy thing. You watch The Exorcist, Max von Sydow, right? Who plays Father Merrin, okay? Father Merrin, right? He's only 44 years old. I'm older than Max von Sydow was when he made The Exorcist back in 1973. Is it 73? 73. I'm 4 years older than Max von Sydow was. And the makeup is so good that for years, this is what he said in one of the documentaries. He said, for years I had trouble getting roles because everybody thought I was in my 70s. That's how good the makeup was in this movie. And what they were able to accomplish with no CG, with no, 1973 effects. Fantastic. But it's also an amazing movie. It's just, I'm so happy that I own it in 4K. Now, I will also say that there are scenes on the 4K that don't look great. I would say about 90 to 95% of the movie looks amazing in 4K. There are a couple of shots that look like almost dipping down into almost DVD quality, which is odd. But apparently that's just the way it is. I still think that this is the best version to get, or the 4K is the one to get. But yeah, this is from the UK, of course, right? This is the one the one that I got. They also, wait a minute. Oh, there's the Irish film classification. Okay. So yeah, this is the UK version that I got. It's great. It's a great movie. It's a great movie. And yes, it's, what's her face? Would hate it. Our the chat person that always comes in here and says that we're satanic. Yeah, that movie's pretty rough. But it's actually got a very positive message. So I love it. I think that movie's great. So there you go. The Exorcist. Let's see. Wait. Yes, Rufus. I won't mention that. I won't say that out loud just in case. But yeah, I felt that. Yeah. My favorite, dude, I'm serious. Linda Blair was kind of crazy good. Even though that's not her voice, what she does in that movie is kind of nuts. It's kind of, and of course the makeup and all that stuff, but man, what a performance. And the way that person says, it's an excellent day for an exorcism. It's creepy, man. And I love it. I love being creeped out. And there are very few movies that can do that. The Exorcist is one of those movies that does that. So there you go. Let's see what else. I prefer the ending of the theatrical over the extended. Absolutely no question. No question. The extended is like, I get what you're trying to do, but that doesn't work. And I also like in the extended version, I think the scene that should have been there is the scene between Father Merrin and Father Karras when they're sitting on the stairs, kind of in between bouts with Reagan, where Father Merrin basically says it's not about the girl, it's about us. It's about them making us feel animal and ugly, and that there's no way that God could love us. And I think it's such a, and I get it in the interviews and stuff. Friedkin says the reason that he cut that is that he felt like that the whole movie, that was the point of the whole movie, is that this demon, it didn't matter. He didn't target Reagan. The point of going after Reagan is to affect everyone else. The Reagan's mom and the housekeeper and the whatever, everybody else around. And I get that. But I love the way that, number one, I love the way that Max von Sydow says that. And the way his performance there is really good. But I also think that it goes beyond what was already apparent in the movie. Him saying that was kind of interesting to hear that from his mind. the character's mind. You know what I mean? So I really like that scene, and I wish that was in the theatrical. It's not. Otherwise, I think the theatrical would be pretty much perfect. Um, but it's such a good movie. It's such a good movie. Spencer, welcome, welcome. Hail, the Wicked Witch is dead. I'm so happy Kathleen Kennedy is going away. I refuse to believe she made E.T. Spencer, she made a lot of things that we all pretty much agree is awesome. Her career is unprecedented. She's one of the best producers in the history of Hollywood. It's just the truth. That doesn't mean that she was great being the head of a studio, but as a producer, she was kind of badass. 8 of her movies were up for Best Picture, I believe. That's a lot. That's a really good producer. Again, that doesn't mean that she was the best studio head. And we'll get into that. But here's the thing. I don't think Kathleen Kennedy leaving just miraculously fixes Star Wars. Star Wars is in a pretty dismal place right now, and it's not all her fault. It's also Bob Iger's fault. It's also Bob Chapek's fault. It's also some of the creators that work at Lucasfilm, but some of it is their fault. So you can't blame it all on her. Now, sure, there's a lot of YouTubers that love to do that. They love to just point the finger at, oh, it's Kathleen Kennedy, because once she wore the Force is Female shirt. And so anything that has anything to do with anything they don't like, they point the finger at her. But the fact is, there's a lot of creators out there that that also had a hand in it. So, yeah. But I get it. I'm also happy that she's moving on, because I think Star Wars needs a new path. And I don't know what that path is. Because in a way, Disney Plus kind of ruined Star Wars. I mean, yeah, you could say, oh, Kathleen Kennedy ruined it. But I think Disney Plus, and also it kind of made Star Wars into a TV thing. It's weird. It's weird. Fact is, though, she had some big wins. She had some big wins. And the fact is, you know, some of the things that we loved that came out of Disney, those same people made other things that were terrible. So the track record of Star Wars has been all over the place. And then on top of that, the fandom as a whole has made it really hard to love. Because we'll get into that. But Spencer, I'm happy that you're here. Good to see you. Also shockingly young for an actor convincingly playing an old codger, Ian McDiarmid in the OT. Absolutely. He was great in that too. But I mean, Max von Sydow. Good. If The Exorcist interests you, I would highly recommend the book, The Exorcist Legacy, 50 Years of Fear, came out in 2023. Really in-depth look at the movie. Interesting. Okay. I love when they do that. Oh gosh. Oh, I was going to say only $413. What a deal. But that's for 25 copies. But cool. I'll check it out. I'll see if I can get it. I mean, look, $13.99 on Kindle. Oh, and by the way, tomorrow's the last day. If you're an Amazon subscriber, for those of you who are Amazon, maybe your Amazon people, whatever. If you have any ebooks from Amazon or any, okay, digital purchases, Amazon in their account, in their stuff, allows you to download your ebooks, and I believe even your audiobooks. I'm not sure about that. Ebooks is really all I was concerned about. But starting tomorrow, you will not be able to do that. And it's basically, in a lot of ways, it's like they're trying to keep you on Amazon, using Amazon products. So now here's the funny thing. And this is something that made me go, it's a really good point. April made a really good point about this whole thing. When they say, well, you bought the book, but technically what you're buying is a license to read that book on a Kindle. And I'm like, I don't agree with that. I don't agree that you should only have to, whatever. And then she said, this is the perfect analogy. Okay. She said, yeah, but what if you bought a game on the PS5 and you wanted to play it on the Switch? And I went, that's a great point. It really is a great point. And you might say, well, I want to read this book on my Kubo or on my iPhone or whatever, you know what I mean? Outside of the Kindle thing. But really, it makes a lot of sense. It really makes a lot of sense that way. That you can't just download the game on your PS5 and then expect to be able to take it off of your PS5 and put it on a Switch. It's just not the way. It's not the way it works. And I got to say, I don't like it. I don't like it. But it is true. So really, if you're worried about that, buy physical. Buy a physical copy, and that's just the way it is. And again, I actually got a little angry because that is the perfect, that there is, how do you refute that? Now, what I think is that I've thought this for a long time. It's one of the reasons why I actually like the whole buying like a digital movie on iTunes, is that I hated the idea of buying, for example, a DVD, and then the Blu-ray comes out and you buy the Blu-ray. Then the 4K comes out and you buy the 4K. You can't just upgrade. iTunes or Apple would automatically up you. If you bought it from them and you bought it in SD quality, when the 4K came, I think maybe they may be wrong. I think it's if you bought it HD, they would automatically up it to 4K if it was available in 4K. For my Lord of the Rings, I bought Lord of the Rings digitally in HD. I have the crazy big, whatever you call those, the DVDs, the extended versions on DVD, and I'm like, I don't need to buy the discs. I'll just buy it digitally because I want to watch them digitally anyway. Well, when the 4Ks came out, they automatically upgraded it. I think that if you buy a game once, that should allow you to play that game on anything. But that's the problem. Nintendo is in their little walled garden. PlayStation's over here in their own little walled garden. Microsoft is the only one that's trying to say, hey, if you get Game Pass, you can play it on anything you want. If it can get to Game Pass, you can play it. And that's one of the things that's really cool about Game Pass. But I gotta say, it's kind of a good analogy. It's kind of a good thing. I don't like it as any more than you do. I think that if I bought it on Kindle, I should be able to take that file and then put it on a Kubo or a Books, the BOOX, or the Fartenflugenheim, the Fartenflugenheim. That's the new hot e-reader out there, everybody. Anyway, that's just not the way it works. So, there you go. Let's see. What is the best Exorcist parody, Repossessed or Scary Movie 2? Showzama? That's a question for you because I haven't seen either one of those. I watched the first Scary Movie and went, it's not for me. I don't think it's that funny. Number one, I didn't get a lot of the jokes because I'm not a huge horror fan. And then I just didn't think it was that funny. So, Sam's Club Pisha. Starhawks, I have no idea what you're talking about. Is it A New Hope, though, Showzama? Is it really? That's the thing, man. We just don't know. What if they end up picking somebody that everybody's like, oh my God, what a terrible choice? We don't know. But we'll talk. We'll talk about it. You start exploring House of Leaves yet? No, Rufus, but I believe it is 2 books away. Yeah, because I should finish Brave New World tonight. And that was due to you guys. You guys told me, hey, if you read 1984, you got to read Brave New World too. I'm reading Brave New World and whoa. Between 1984 and Brave New World, I'm scared. I'm scared of everything. And we're all screwed. But then we've got another Stormlight book because hey, I'm reading the Cosmere, man. I'm reading Brandon Sanderson. So we got a Stormlight book and then we have House of Leaves. So very soon, Rufus, very soon. Very soon. Let's see. Phil Holland. It's been a while, sir. Good to see you. I made my feelings known on Kennedy. I respect your opinion and admire your protection of her as well. I hope she has a good retirement. I do too. I mean, the thing is, again, just go to her IMDb and look at all the movies she's done. It's insane how many movies she's done. I mean, we're talking Goonies. We're talking Back to the Future. We're talking Schindler's List, Jurassic Park, Raiders of the Lost Ark. I mean, there's so many movies. Curious Case of Benjamin Button. I mean, that's not my favorite Fincher film, but she worked with Fincher. I mean, there's so many. There's so many. E.T., of course. There's so many. It's stupid. So, if somebody says that she's not a good producer, well, then you don't like the same movies I do. She's made a bunch of great movies. And she's helped Steven Spielberg went on the record and said, she's the best producer ever. And I'm sorry, I kind of believe Steven Spielberg. So now, I will freely admit that maybe she's not the best studio head. Maybe. I mean, she honestly, here's the thing to think about. Okay? Whatever you think about all the movies that have come out and all the TV shows that have come out, set that aside for a second and just go with me on this journey. Think about how many projects she's done under Lucasfilm's banner. And then on top of that, just you've got that. The whole work, right? Some good, some bad, right? Some people really love Rogue One. I love Andor. I think Andor may be the best Star Wars since the original trilogy. I love Andor Season 1. But all that stuff, Skeleton Crew, I really enjoyed. I hated The Acolyte. I really disliked Ahsoka. Obi-Wan was a disappointment. Book of Boba Fett was almost an embarrassment. But then you've got some Mandalorian stuff was good, you know? I really liked Solo. I think The Force Awakens, I mean, it's not bad. I actually enjoyed the majority of The Last Jedi, even though, look, granted, there are problems. I think The Rise of Skywalker was also an embarrassment and a mistake, an absolute mistake. All of those things, right? Then you go, how many did she promise that never came to fruition? So look, even as somebody who I think Kathleen Kennedy will go down as one of the best producers in the history of Hollywood. I mean, it's just a fact at this point. Here's what she completed. Here's what she announced, and it never happened. Now, on top of that, how much of this that she announced, you know what? Here, let me just, hey, we'll just do this. Oh, that's Bond. Well, we're not going to talk about Bond yet. All the stuff that she had, all the stuff that she promised and it never happened. There's almost as many. Rogue Squadron with Patty Jenkins, Taika Waititi, Shane Levy, Shane Levy, right? Sean Levy, Shane Levy. That could still happen. Two different versions of the Rey movie, which may or may not happen now. The Boba Fett, Josh Trank, never happened. Now, I mean, you could say, well, that kind of morphed from a movie into the show. Okay, I'll give you that one. But then there's the Rian Johnson trilogy. There's the Benioff and Weiss trilogy. There's the Kevin Feige movie that never happened. There's the fact that, I mean, at least two movies, right? Solo. 3 movies, really. 3 movies? So Rogue One had problems. Somewhere along the way, Gareth Edwards, something didn't go right, so she had to bring in Tony Gilroy. Solo, you had Lord and Miller as the original directors. She had to fire them and then bring in Ron Howard to finish that. Rise of Skywalker, you had Colin Trevorrow as the original writer and was going to direct. They fired him. Now, here's the thing. That one, I'm not sure about. I mean, I know that happened. Colin Trevorrow left and J.J. Abrams came back, right? But was that in response to the reaction to The Last Jedi? Because here's the thing that you have to remember. They were super excited about The Last Jedi. In fact, they were so excited that they announced before The Last Jedi came out that Rian Johnson was going to get his own trilogy. Remember, that happened before The Last Jedi came out. Then The Last Jedi came out, and we all remember what happened there. So who knows? Maybe they were on board with what Trevorrow was doing with Episode 9, but then after they realized, oh, people actually didn't like The Last Jedi. Some of us did, some of us didn't. Some of us liked it, some of us didn't. It's very divisive. It's still the most divisive. There are almost daily posts. That's hyperbole. There are, I'll just say a lot. There are a lot of posts to this day on the Star Wars subreddit that talk about certain scenes in The Last Jedi, or The Last Jedi was this. I mean, look, if nothing else, it's keeping people talking about it. People keep talking about The Last Jedi, man. And they still argue about it. And it's crazy that it's been, that was 2017. That was 8 years ago. And people are still talking about it. But anyway, so maybe at that point they decided, okay, even Colin, look, buddy, we're going to have to go a different route. So all that work you did, yeah, we're not going to do that. We got to figure out what we're going to do. And they bring in J.J. Abrams, and then he brings in, what's his face, the writer, the Academy Award winner from Argo, the Academy Award winning writer of Argo to come in. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but and the thing was, they had an impossible task. They had to try to rewrite the ship. Instead of just following through with the story that had already been presented, they were like, let's try to do something, right? They had an impossible task. What I did not appreciate is, I can't remember his name, but him going on the special features and talking about how brilliant his script was. I was like, dude, no. Don't give me shit and then try to tell me that I'm wrong for not liking it. It was shit. But anyway. I mean, we can talk more about that if you want. But I mean, look, here's the thing. As much as I think that she's a great producer. I still have to admit that things didn't go right. Some of that was Disney Plus and them trying to pivot and say, oh, well, we can bring people aren't going to the theater anyway. They can't go to the theater. So let's put a lot of Star Wars content on the TV and people will love it. And we did. Look, we did. We loved it. Most of us were watching The Mandalorian going, oh my God, this is awesome. Freaking Grogu. Come on. Don't forget some of the amazing stuff that we got in that time. Now, some of you now might look back and go, yeah, it was okay. It's all right. Wasn't that great? But man, there was a lot of good stuff. And I still say Andor is, like I said, I think Andor is the best thing since the original trilogy. And you're talking about somebody who has been a big apologist for the prequels. I didn't really enjoy the prequels all that much. I thought they were fine, but I didn't think they were as I didn't think they were as great as some people say they are, and I don't think they're anywhere near as bad as a lot of them say they are. Although episode 2 is pretty bad. And you're talking about a guy who loves George Lucas, like loves him. You know, has multiple books on him. I love the guy. I look up to the guy. But yeah, they're Star Wars is in trouble. And I think if you talk to any amount of nerds these days, not many people are talking about Star Wars as much. The Star Wars is not in the conversation nearly as much as it used to be. And I think a lot of it is just because a lot of people feel burned, you know? I just think that's the way it is. The fact is, though, man, when Star Wars is good, Star Wars is good. But anyway, I did the old ebook download to PC last night thanks to your warning last week. Bucho, you're welcome. You're welcome. If I cannot hold the book in my hand and smell the fresh pages, I do not own it. That is why I stay with physical. I mean, in Movie Mike, that's absolutely, probably the correct way to do it. The problem is, I just enjoy reading on a Kindle. I mean, I'll even read on an iPad in a pinch, but I really love reading on a Kindle. And I think it's because I don't have to, again, this is a silly, stupid thing, but I showed it to you last week. The old, you know, the shadows of the light, it bothers me when I have to hold it a specific way for it to be evenly lit and no shadows. I hate that. I love the fact that I can read my Kindle laying down and it's perfectly lit. And if I hold it down here, perfectly lit. No matter how I hold it, it's perfectly lit. I love that. But I get it. I totally get that. Amazon can remote edit. I mean, absolutely Showzama, but I mean, let's be honest. That's a thing that's been around for a long time. And it's, especially when you're looking at buying a digital movie, all you're really doing is you're buying the key, the license. You're buying the key to it. And when you click that button to watch that movie, you're going to their server to watch whatever they have. It, like if you were going to say, let's just say back to the French Connection. That's a great one, right? Because that movie has been edited on a lot of servers. But if you buy that movie, when you click that button to say watch, all you're doing is going to their server and getting whatever file they have called the French Connection. Now, if they update that file to be the one that takes out the admittedly racist diatribe that, you know, Popeye Doyle says to Roy Scheider very early on in the movie, if they've taken that out on that file, then that's the version you get. But my Blu-ray has it intact. So that's the thing. You just stole my line, but it's cool. We are bros. What, that I hate that analogy? Yeah, that analogy's, it's the fact that yeah, you cannot buy a game on a system and then expect to just play that on another system. You have to buy that game on that system. I get that. It just feels different with books. I guess I've never looked at books that way. But I mean, when she said that, I'm like, damn it. You're absolutely right. But the problem is, even with all the other e-readers out there, I can't find one that's better than a Kindle for reading. Now, I mean, there's the new ones that you write on and take notes on and all that stuff. And I'm like, okay, number one, I don't write. I don't write anymore. Are you kidding? I'm a much better typist than I am a writer. Oh, well, you can just write and it'll, convert it to text. Or I could just type it. So me personally, I don't have a use for that. And I don't doodle. I'm not a doodler. Like my wife has, in fact, I bought an Apple Pencil back when we started working on Adventures in Game Chasing. Like I bought it soon after I quit my job, just so I could make notes on the script and all that stuff digitally, and I could have my iPad there and blah blah blah. I barely ever used it. And it's because it was a hassle. It was more of a hassle. It was another thing to keep track of, another thing to keep charged. It was a hassle to me. I'd rather just type. That's why we have 10 fingers. Is so we can type and space. Blah, 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 type, space, But hey. So basically, as much as I don't like some of Amazon's practices, they still make the best e-reader in my opinion. So, anyway. I read bootleg Kurt Vonnegut on a 17-year-old Paperwhite with a full keyboard. Yeah, see, I never had one of those. But it's part of the reason why I still have my Oasis is because of those buttons, the page turn buttons. I really enjoy that. But the thing is as far as Amazon's lineup, no Kindle of the current lineup has page turn buttons, which is kind of a bummer, which means that I might have to go to another if I want the page turn buttons. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do when my Oasis dies. I don't know. But fact is, it's very rare that I reread books. And I might just say, oh, well, I want to read Lord of the Rings on my Fartenflugenheim. Is that what I called it? Yeah. I'll probably just buy it again because I'm an idiot. I'm a consumer helping the economy. I don't know. Trademark that while you can. I mean, we'll try. I'm way behind, guys, because I went off on a tangent, as I am wont to do. Kennedy won any Oscars? That's a great question. While we're getting caught up here, Apple doesn't upgrade SD. I know this because my old movies. Some of them got better resolution version, no upgrade. Okay, that's what I meant. Is that, like I said SD, but I was like, wait a minute, no, I don't think that's true. If you had purchased the HD version of a movie and then later it came out with a 4K, then it would automatically upgrade you. But what I noticed is any of the movies that I did through Vudu that go through, well, it's not Vudu anymore, is it? What is it? Fandango at home now or whatever. But the Vudu thing, the disc to digital through Walmart, disc to digital, remember that? I'd done some movies where I upgraded from the DVD to an HD copy, digital copy. And then that HD digital copy transferred over to iTunes because of the Movies Anywhere thing. At that point, it did not upgrade it. But, yeah. Nominated for 8 Oscars. Let's see. Actually, no. Interesting. So nominated for Best Picture for Best E.T., The Color Purple, The Sixth Sense. So yeah, she worked with M. Night. Seabiscuit, Munich, The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, Warhorse, and Lincoln. And didn't win. Nominated 8 times for that. Interesting. But did win the 2019 winner, the Irving G. Thalberg Memorial Award. But still, that's pretty impressive. She won the 2020, let's see. Nominee, okay. No. The Christopher Awards, Primetime Emmy. Interesting. The Diving Bell and the Butterfly. I had no idea. With John Killick, she was nominated in 2008 for The Diving Bell and the Butterfly. The Peabody. She won the Peabody for Andor 2023. The PGA. She was a 2022 winner of the Milestone Award. Outstanding producer of animated theatrical motion picture. Oh, she did Adventures of Tintin. She won for that. Share with Frank Marshall Lifetime Achievement Award in Motion Pictures in 2008. She was also nominated for a Razzie in 1996 for Congo. So, again, I think everybody that works in Hollywood, there's going to be movies that don't connect. But overall, she has an amazing career. And I think if you count all the movies and projects that never came to fruition, I think you have to count those as failures, right? And that's for, like I said, I'm a fan. So, anyway. What seems more like reality, 1984 or Brave New World, or both? 1984 so far has scared me more than Brave New World has. Brave New World's still a little messed up because of the racial divides, or it's class and race divides. And I'm like, what? I think I'm like 3/4 of the way through Brave New World. So I think the biggest ideas have already been presented to me. I could be wrong. But 1984 is the one that was like every chapter was like, oh, wow, that makes me uncomfortable because that sounds like Project 2025. You know what I mean? There's like some crazy shit in that book. Which again, I would have bet you money that I'd read 1984. There's no way that I would have forgotten some of the stuff that's in that book. There's no way. So no, I never read it. I'd read Animal Farm, but I'd never read 1984, and it is crazy how scary that one is. So, and Brave New World's really good, but 1984 has scared me more. There were warnings, we didn't listen. Yeah. Very interested to get your reaction to House of Leaves. It is a unique experience. Yes. And again, I know it's a J.J. Abrams project, which may not be the best. You know, people are like, oh, that's bad. I think he's more of a producer of this, but it's the S. Let's see. This. I super enjoyed this thing. And what's cool about it is that you're reading a story, but you're also reading the notes in the margins that two characters are writing back and forth to each other. And then you get to a point where they'll say, hey, look what I found. And it's like a postcard, and it's in the correct place. Because what the whole story is, these two people are reading this story and leaving the book with their notations, the library book, in the library, and then the person comes and reads that and then writes another letter or writes another note and then puts it back. And they never meet. They don't meet for a very, very long time. It's super cool, and it's kind of a mystery, and it was awesome. I really enjoyed this as an experience. You know what I mean? So I would highly recommend this. Um, and it sounds like House of Leaves is similar with that kind of idea, but I really enjoyed that. So highly recommended. Do you think that guys wait? Do you think that guys are way more obsessed with having the best audio video? Just seems women are fine watching movie shows on a laptop. I don't know. I think what it is there are certain people that have I can't tell you how to I don't even know if I can explain this correctly, but I feel like there are certain people that have an addictive thing about them. Whether it's collecting, whether it's I gotta have the best, I gotta have the newest phone, I gotta have the newest this and that and whatever. And there's certain people that once they experience an amazing sound system and a big TV and all that stuff, they go, I need that. And I'm going to work to get that. And then they obsess over it. And that's how I was. I obsessed over that until I finally got the big TV and the big sound system, and I love it. And it's great. Um, I think there are people that, like, I think my brother would watch whole shows on his phone. And I'm like, ugh, that sounds awful. But in a pinch, I probably would too. And I watched that's different. I was watching it again. I wasn't experiencing it for the first time. But I remember Lost in 2005 when we went on our Alaskan cruise where there was no land on the left side of the boat. When we were at sea, with no stops, we were just sitting there watching the Lost Blu-rays. So, I mean, I get it, but man, I don't know. Love me some Ben Button. See, Rufus, that was a movie that just did not work for me. I just didn't care for it. It just didn't work for me. I mean, like one of those where it's like, oh wow, this is well made, but it's just not for me. But hey, I'm glad you liked it. Wait, we are talking Spielberg, Fincher, Lucas, good producer, shit studio head. I mean, yeah. Wait till you read the next book, Where's Waldo? Oh, snap. Depends on the people. I don't think it's a gender specific thing, but men do tend to have hobbies and women have interests, not laws, but it is kind of standard. I mean, yeah, but I think, see, here's the thing. We just have different, it's kind of like there are, you pick like a few guys. There will probably be one that's a huge sports guy. There might be a guy that's like a huge comics guy, a big movie guy. But with women, they seem to be like, oh, I like all kinds of things. But my wife is like super into crafting stuff and being creative. And I mean, again, I can't tell you, like, think about all the movies that I own. Okay. You've seen a lot of my collection over the last few years, right? You've seen that I've spent quite a bit of money on movies and books and all kinds of, and Lego and all kinds of shit, right? Yeah, she spent way more than that on all of her crafting stuff. So I don't know. It's a weird thing. Andor was pretty good, but it didn't tickle my balls, if you know what I'm saying. Well, Derek, did you see that new trailer? I mean, we'll talk about the trailer, but yeah. It's just funny. You say that and some people would go, "Wow, that doesn't sound great." But yeah, Andor definitely, that was a ball tickler of a trailer if I ever saw one. If there's anyone watching that's a member of my family, I apologize for that comment. But if not, well, screw it then, Audio is a hobby, movies are a hobby and interest. But see, I disagree. I disagree because you can get just as into different what do you call them? They're not pickups. What are they called? The cartridges on the front of uh on a vinyl player. Like I saw videos where people were like, well, when I'm listening to this genre of music, I like to use this cartridge for my record player versus if I'm listening to jazz, well, I'm going to use this one. And I'm like, those are expensive. Wow. You're telling me you swap out the cartridges based on what? And I'm sure there are other people that are like, oh, well, I don't want just, you know, I, I want the audio from my phone to be better. So I'm going to hook it up through some sort of, I look, I've watched a bunch of those and I'm like, I can't do it. I can't spend the money on that because number one, I don't really have the money. Number two, I don't think I'd actually see the benefit. But man, there are people that buy all kinds of stuff audio wise just as much as, and it's a hobby and an interest because I mean I guess I say that because I have a, what do you call that, a passing interest in it. Like I would love to know that I'm listening to the absolute best version of a Nine Inch Nails album that I could get, but I'm not necessarily going to be able to tell the difference between the best and the adequate. You know what I mean? Like I have FLAC versions of many of my Nine Inch Nails albums, and then I listen to that, and then I switch over to Apple Music, and I just the one that's downloaded off the internet. And you know what? I got a really nice pair of headphones, and I can't tell the difference. So I don't know. Is that Kamala and Bernie? No, that was Kathleen Kennedy and Jorge Lucas. George. I think Rogue Squadron might happen after she retires. I don't know, man. Because Patty Jenkins, Wonder Woman 84 did not do Patty Jenkins any favors. I mean, you look at the first Wonder Woman movie and then you look at Wonder Woman 84, there is a huge gap, a crevasse of quality difference between those two movies. So I think that might be one of the problems. It's the same. I mean, look, Colin Trevorrow, they could have said, look, Colin, can you look, I know that you were working off of the stuff that was happening in The Last Jedi for, what was it called? Duel of the Fates, right? For episode 9. Can we pivot just a little bit? Can you help us pivot? Because we're going to pivot away from some of those ideas. Because a lot of people didn't like The Last Jedi. You know? That whole Luke almost killing his nephew. Yeah, we got to get away from that. He didn't almost kill his nephew. Okay? Just to make that clear. There were 3 different versions of what happened. Anyway. But I think that movie that he made that came out, like after The Last Jedi, didn't do Colin Trevorrow any favors because people hated that book, that movie. I don't even remember what it was called, but people hated that movie and it did terribly. And everybody said, okay, this is a terrible movie. And then shortly after, Colin Trevorrow, is not working on Star Wars anymore. I think the same thing might have happened to Patty Jenkins because that Rogue Squadron commercial thing that happened at, what is it, D23, right? That happened before Wonder Woman 84 came out. And then Wonder Woman 84 came out and everybody was like, PU. Everyone did that. Literally every person, when they watched Wonder Woman 84, that's what they did. If you watched Wonder Woman in 84, you did that. I'm telling you right now, that's what happened. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that. I told myself I wasn't going to talk a bunch tonight because lots to talk about tonight. Sorry, guys. I'll shut up. Rufus, you do what you want, buddy. Look, we're free in this country, but this is a totally free chat thing. If I don't want to read your comment, I just won't read. I'll just stop reading it. Don't worry, Rufus. It's no big deal. She didn't have to fire those directors. She chose to. I don't know. I mean, look. In a way, Lord and Miller with Solo, right? We have no idea what their version of Solo would have been. It could have been like 10 times better than what we got with what Ron Howard did. I actually like Solo quite a bit, so it's hard for me to imagine it being that much better. But what if it was like, I don't know, goofy and dumb, right? And then she's watching some of the dailies and she's like, oh no, this is not what we had agreed on. You guys told me you were going to do a thing and then you did something different. I mean, we may never know what happened. Okay? But we just don't know. But that's a problem. I mean, when it comes down to it, she's the person that hired those two directors and they did something so bad that you had to let them go. I don't know. Definitely George Lucas has that neck pouch for sure. I love 7, 8. Wait. Rufus said, I loved 7, 8, and 9. Great movies. 7, I just cried the entire time. It was such a love letter to A New Hope. I mean, Rufus, that's the thing. I think 7 was here. 8 for me, again, for me, was up here. 9 is the only, look, here's the thing. I get it when people say that they don't like Last Jedi because it doesn't work for their idea of what Luke Skywalker is and oh, well, he should have learned those lessons a long time ago. Here's the way I look at it. If you beat cancer, the dark side is cancer, in my opinion. Sure, you can defeat it. Oh, I'm cancer free. That doesn't mean that it's over. It can come back. Okay? That's how I look at the dark side. So the fact that Luke, throughout his whole life, was an impetuous? Is that the right word? Sometimes he made decisions quickly and to the detriment of his own body. You know, him rushing to go save Han and Leia at Cloud City made him lose his hand. He lost his hand. And then, I'm going to go save my dad by fighting the Emperor. And then he turned around and almost killed his own dad. It's very possible that when he's looking inside his nephew's mind, who he's had he's been worrying about his nephew. He thinks something's going on and he sees the death of people that he loves. He might light that lightsaber to protect Han and Leia. And then looks down and goes, what am I doing? And then looks over and he's like, oh crap, he's awake. Everything's cool. And then, oh my God, I'm being attacked. Anyway, I love 8. Okay. I love a lot of things about 8. There's a lot of problems with 8, but I love a lot of it. And then Rise of Skywalker is Rise of Skywalker is the only one that actively makes me mad when I watch it. I get furious. So when someone says that they watch episode 8 and they get furious, I didn't understand that for a long time because it was like, I didn't see it that way. But after watching Rise of Skywalker, I then understood. All those people that had problems with episode 8, for some reason, they saw it completely different than I did. But now I was like, you and me, we were kind of on the same page. Different movies, but we kind of get angry. Like, I got physically angry watching Rise of Skywalker opening night. I was getting madder and madder. And then I started really thinking about that whole disconnect thing, you know, that moment in the movie where you go, okay, in your head, some people walk out, right? They okay, I've had enough, I'm done. But in my head, I'm like, okay, I'm seeing this through, but F this movie. because it was doing stuff that was irritating me so bad and didn't make any logical sense. Rise of Skywalker makes me angry. But the great thing about art, the great thing about movies, the great thing about music, there's going to be music that you listen to that I go, wow, that's terrible. I can't listen to that. There's going to be stuff that I listen to that you go, huh, you like that? Ugh. Right? Happens. There's going to be a burger place that you love that someone else goes, that's the worst burger I've ever had. That's the beautiful thing about differences in people. We can watch a movie, we can both watch the same movie and get a completely different experience about it. And that is what's beautiful about art. That's why art is important. Art brings people together. It can unfortunately divide people. But the thing is, I'm glad that you like those movies. I can't go on your journey with you. But I'm glad that you liked it. Lucas is a confirmed marsupial. You're wrong for not liking my shit. Well, I know you're kidding. Kennedy as a Kennedy. Can't beat that Kathleen Kennedy. Kathleen Kennedy as a producer, very good. I think her past production work, much of which is undeniably great, gets overshadowed by the direction she took the Star Wars franchise as a studio head. Not entirely fair, but she did real damage. But see, that's the thing. And this is a point that actually John Campea made earlier on his show, was Michael Jordan's legacy as a great basketball player was not really hindered at all by his owning of a team, and he was a terrible owner. Nobody looks at him and says, "Oh, well, that makes his amazing run with the Chicago Bulls just that brings that into question." No, it doesn't really. And honestly, it really shouldn't for Kathleen Kennedy as a producer, because being a studio head is really a different job. Now, I always thought that the way that, at least, and this was in my head, the fact is, none of us, unless we work at Disney and we work in the system, we have no idea how it actually works. But the way that I looked at it was that Kathleen Kennedy was like a super producer, because she produced everything, right? She was the person that was basically the liaison between the director or the showrunner and the studio, right? That's what a producer's job is to be that person that goes to the studio and goes, "Hey, we're kind of over budget. We need a little bit." Or, "Hey, we're trying to make this happen. Can you help us make this happen?" So that the studio comes to the producer instead of the director being that person in between, the go-between. But it's also in independent filmmaking, that producer is the person that helps to make things happen, hiring the right person, the person that has the connections, that can say, "Hey, this person is the person that we should get for the assistant director position. This is the person that should be the whatever, the line producer." That's what a producer's job is. And for me, the way that I envisioned it was that Kevin Feige and Kathleen Kennedy were not really the heads of the studio. I mean, yeah, they helped to direct, but they were sort of like super producers when it came to the studio. Bob Iger, Bob Chapek, right? But really, when it comes down to it, Kevin Feige helped to dictate where Marvel was going. Now, he's had some issues. I mean, I think a lot of people would agree that there's been some issues. Since Endgame, there's been some issues. And I think a lot of that has come from the fact that Bob Iger left for a while and Bob Chapek came in and said, "Make as much as you can, as fast as you can." Well, we got this idea to put it into production now. Well, we have this idea, but we're really not ready to announce it right now. And I feel like in a lot of ways, Kathleen Kennedy was made to announce things before they were actually ready to announce, because of Bob Chapek. So some of that might be her fault. Some of that may not be. But what I'm trying to say is, I look at her as one of the greatest producers in history. And she's had some hits and she's had some misses. And you know what? I'm just hoping that we can have somebody that can do her job as good or better than she did. That's what I'm hoping for. But we don't know. Nobody knows. But this whole idea that you point to her as the reason that everything that you don't like sucks, and then you don't point at her when something comes out that you like. That's what I think that's the thing that irritated me the most. Oh, Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are such geniuses. The Mandalorian was so good because of them. Um, Kathleen Kennedy produced that too. Just saying. You like the way that Rogue One turned out? She's the one that said, hey, Gareth, maybe you need a little help. Here's Tony Gilroy. That's another one that I would love to know the backstory of what happened there. Because somewhere along the way, things changed. If you remember, there was a trailer and almost like a featurette. A lot of footage that never made it into the movie were in those two, like a trailer and a featurette. I'd love to know what happened. Why? There's footage of, what's her face? Jyn Erso and Cassian Andor and K2SO running on a beach, and she's holding the Death Star plans that she got out of the little chunk patink, right? And she's holding the thing, right? There's footage of them running on a beach. Even on the Rogue One 3D collector's edition. Look at that. That didn't happen in the movie. But that is artwork. I mean, where the hell is that? I'd love to see that. I would love to see that. And this is actually a really cool set. Comes with all of that. A lot. But 3D and bonus stuff and all kinds of, just bonus. A lot of bonus. But yeah, so what happened with all that? Kind of a cool set. Anyway. Mandalorian was great. Yes, I liked it. Season 3 wasn't all great, but Gina Carano. Yeah, see, I was really rooting for her, man. I was really rooting for her because I watched her, during the MMA stuff, but. And see, there you go. See, Phil said that was Dave Filoni, not Kennedy. She produced everything. Every single thing that came out from Disney that was Star Wars, she produced it. So why do you blame her for the things that you don't like, but you don't give her the credit for the things that she did? I don't know. Typing is so much better than writing so much quicker. Yeah, exactly. I only use the Apple Pen if I'm doing math. I don't even know when the last time I did math was. Other than, counting all the views on my YouTube videos. Didn't happen. Seabiscuit isn't even in my top 5 biscuits. Well, there you go, Bucho. All right. Cheddar Bay biscuits beat Seabiscuit. Yes. Voodoo does upgrade some things, but looks like it's random. I just got Constantine upgraded to 4K recently. All right. Orwell's wife was depressed, and how could she not after reading her husband's 1984 in Animal Farm? Yeah. I find it funny when the left thinks 1984 is about the right. OBC. 1984 is about everything. It's about those in power against those that aren't. That's really what 1984 is about. And that's what's scary. All of it's scary. And I don't know if, were you talking about me? Because I'm not really. Dude, I'm freaking Switzerland, man. There are things that I agree with on the left. There are things that I agree with on the right. But I think they're both crazy. At least the extremes. You know what I mean? J.J. Abrams, whatever happened to him? Once the Hollywood darling. I don't know. There's been a lot of things that have been announced for J.J. Abrams, and nothing's come. They got Kathleen Kennedy syndrome apparently because they've announced a bunch of stuff and nothing's happened. Yeah, that S is good. Okay, I'm just saying that S is really good. Newest phone. Who summoned me? I'm just saying there are people that's what they do. I want to be on the cutting edge of this electronics thing, or I want to be. I mean, for a while there, I was like, am I gonna have to buy a Mac every year? No, I can't do that. Too expensive. Back in the day when I friend worked nights, would watch movies in his portable DVD player. I always wanted one back in the day. I was never big on the that guy. Not for me, but I totally get it. See, you know what I did do though? I would put some of my favorite movies on my iPod video. This was before the iPhone. The iPod video was kind of cool because I could it's almost like just listening to your favorite movies, but it was kind of neat. It was kind of cool. And then the iPhone came out and basically, well, excuse me, everybody copied the iPhone. Hobbies are also dependent if you have kids, how much time you spend with them, and if you're busy volunteering, church stuff, second job. Absolutely, Shozama. Absolutely. And not Gary. Welcome, sir. Good to see you. Oh, I can read. I totally can read. I'm not sure what that. Robbie will be F you and not say chat. I'm not sure what you mean by that. I picked up a few movies on top of that screenshot. Okay, hold on. This is what I don't think I actually showed this because did we finish? We didn't even finish going through what I was going through. But this is the digitals. How green is my valley? Scaramouche. Can you do the Fandango? I'm gonna get you Sucka. The Return. Was The Return good? Did you watch The Return yet? I Am Love. I don't know what that is. The Gentleman. Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. The Protege. The Brutalist we knew about. So yeah. And then you purchased Poor Things, Jane Eyre. Yeah, Poor Things is one of those movies where I'm like, I'm glad I watched that, but I don't need to see that again. But hey, it's all for you. It's all for you. Time to say what it is. Sorry. Exactly, not Gary. Done some great stuff. Not bummed to see her leaving. Yeah. They need to chip off Jeff Fahey some of that Star Wars love. I would love to see Jeff Fahey in Star Wars. Are you kidding me? I mean, we already had Michael Biehn in Star Wars. Throw some Jeff Fahey, yeah. I'm all good on Jeff Fahey. Put him on there. Star Wars Tropical Beach Party. Yeah. Such a cool scene with the stormtroopers in the water storming the beach. I know. I wish Boba Fett was great. Yes. The beach stuff. That's why I miss deleted scenes on discs. But see, there was so much. It was basically the last third of that movie. Act 3 was so different. Because remember, the very, very famous Vader scene in the hallway, that was a pickup shot. But here's the thing. It wasn't like they fired Gareth Edwards, because Gareth Edwards is the rebel that runs around the corner and pulls the lever to eject the blockade runner from the rest of that ship. So man, there's so much, dude. There's so much that I don't understand about what happened. And I would love to know that stuff because that is, man, that's the juice. I love all that making of stuff. It's so cool. And to know where the problems were. It's like, hey, we really couldn't agree with how this was supposed to be done. So we decided maybe we should throw Vader in. I still say they should have not put Vader in any of the trailers. They shouldn't, all those scenes, choke on your aspirations and all that. No, it should have been a complete surprise when he shows up at the end of the hallway. Vader should not have been in the entire movie except for that. That would have been the best. Oh, and I know Bucho doesn't agree with me, but I think that our team, our lovely team that we love so much in Rogue One, right? These people that we've grown to love. I didn't. Anyway, Jyn, Cassian, all of them should have been on that ship, and it should have been them that Vader mowed through to get to the plans. I put my hand, my foot, and I put my junk, everything, all of the things down that I think it would have worked better if it were them that Vader took out at the end. Because it would have been like, it would have been the fear, like, how are they going to get out of this? And then they don't. And then you hate Vader. Because that's the thing. Look, I know there's a lot of people that like, oh man, I have a Darth Vader tattoo. I got him on my butt. Okay, well, guess what? Darth Vader's the villain. Okay? We shouldn't love him. I would have loved to see that. But that's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. And Bucho thinks I'm insane for saying that. But I think that's the way that movie should have ended. To me, they didn't go far enough. And that's the thing, too, is that the movie kind of telegraphs everybody's dying when they kill K2SO off. I mean, spoiler alert, I guess, if you haven't seen Rogue One. But yeah. Yeah. I like Bob Fett. He works at H&R Block. Hello, I'm Bob Fett. Here to do your taxes? Alrighty then. I don't know why he turned into Ace Ventura there for a second, but hey, there you go. I have nothing more to say on Kennedy. It's right she leaves and retires. Yes, I agree. That's the thing. As much as I really like Kennedy, and I don't think she deserves even half of the crap that she gets, it's good for her to go. Just like I'm hoping that the Rey movie that has been talked about for years now, I kind of hope that just kind of, that's... Because here's the thing. Even though I like Rey as a character, I don't think they should do anything else with Rey. If you want to bring people back to Star Wars, you need to start with something new and awesome. And I'm sorry, I don't think Rey's the answer. Just my opinion, but it's crazy to me that people out there buy new laptops every year. I know it, but I know people that do that. I'll tell you, here's another one where it's kind of I don't even know what you call this, but I watch from different guys. I watch like every vaping video that they put out. Every single one. And I just recently purchased some vape stuff. But I haven't purchased vape stuff in a very long time. Like, it's been a long time. So, that's interesting to me. The other thing that I watch religiously, like repeatedly all the time, is Retro Game Core. I have one handheld. And yet I watch every single one of his videos. Because I think he's great. And I like learning about the tech. But, yeah. How about them pickups I got? What pickups? Gonna watch The Return after the show. New schedule, so waking up earlier. Today's my Friday. Shozama, I would love to hear what your thoughts are because I'm a huge Ray Fiennes fan. Huge. Huge. And I know that movie is based on the Odyssey. And I think, was it Juliette Binoche? Which is such a great name. Like, so fun to say. Juliette Binoche. That's a fun name to say. Anyway. There's only one return, and it's of the Jedi. I mean, holy crap, that hallway scene would have been nuts if Vader would have smoked all those guys. I don't know if it's the right answer. But man, in my opinion, that would have been awesome. But instead of a bunch of nobodies. Robert Rivera, welcome. Good to see you. And did I actually say hi to Bonobo Juice? Hello. Oh, and I guess we're not going to make it on the whole exact. Is it 20 years? I guess it is 20 years. 20-year switched on reunion. Yeah, I haven't heard from those guys. So, but we'll do it. We will definitely do it. I just don't know when. Because, busy in life and things. I thought K2SO was a snowboard movie. Hey, K2SO, bud. Rob, I agree, but you have to admit that in Andor, Cassian helped build the weapon that eventually is going to kill him. No. Yes. I mean, yes, but we didn't know about that when we watched Rogue One, did we? No, I think what would have been cool is Cassian. I mean, let's just for a second, let's just open your mind a little bit, okay? So, Jyn Erso, Cassian, Chirrut Imwe, and what bad I can't remember his name. Chirrut and Boz? Is that his name? Anyway, those two guys, right? K2SO even maybe. They're running down the thing, and then they hear all the lights go out and they're like, what the hell, right? At that point, we don't know that there's going to be an Andor series. I'm pretty sure Tony Gilroy doesn't know there's going to be and he's working on it. He didn't know there was going to be an Andor series. What would have been even more interesting is that not only is he working on a piece of the Death Star, he's working on something that the whole rebellion is all, you know what I mean? It's like he helped build that thing that's going to murder all the people and all the places and all the things and Alderaan and what's his name's ship and Jeddah and all that. I mean, look, I think it would have been fine either way, but I still think that emotionally, I think that would have been awesome. I just think that would have been awesome, but that's just my opinion. Oh, Yojimbo Sanjuro, yes. I mean, look, hey, I'm happy for you. Criterion Collection. I mean, look, they may not have the absolute best versions of everything, but that is a nice set. I have the Blu-ray. So you got it good. You got it good. I'm the same as you, but with fighter pilot channels instead of vaping, and I haven't bought any new fighter jets for at least 2 years. Exactly, Bucho. What's Kya Brahman? Shakahand. I don't know what that is. But Bucho, I'm actually a little disappointed they haven't bought any new fighter jets. So, Daredevil season 4 next Tuesday. I'm excited. How about you, Rob Slades? Very excited. Very excited. I was actually going to bring that up later, but you ruined it. I'm just kidding. Let's finish up the stuff I've been watching. I caught up on. That's not right. I caught up on this. I caught up on that. Severance is a good show. I like it. It's a good show. I also caught up on, Reacher started, Thursday, Friday, whenever it started. 3 episodes. And I got to say, it's fine. It's not blowing me away, but it is fine. It is more than fine. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. So if you're a fan of the Reacher, hey, I just like him. I think he's awesome. I think he's a really I'm curious to see how his career is going to go because I like him and I think he's got a lot of charisma. But yes, Daredevil Born Again, come on. This starts next week. I cannot believe next Tuesday, next week is March 4th. So yes, Daredevil Born Again. I don't know if they're going to release it like Monday night at midnight or if it's going to be like an evening premiere. It may be premiering as I'm doing the show next week, but I did want to bring it up this week because I'm excited for it. And a lot of the first reactions, the first reviews have come out and they said it's freaking awesome. It's really, really great. So if you're looking forward to it, yeah, next Tuesday. But then, I mean, amidst all the stuff, we got the trailer for Andor season 2. I would call it a teaser. How many of you? Maybe that should have been my poll question. For those of you who saw the Andor season 2 trailer, how many of you really liked it? And how many of you were like, I don't like the music? Did the music take you out of it? Did you like Reacher running around in his undies? I mean, I didn't hate it. Look, the guys built amazingly, okay? To me, I look at that like the Statue of David, right? You look at the Statue of David, you say, yeah, that's a beautiful piece of art. I don't like that exact part of it, and it's not like I'm gonna sit there and just stare at that, but hey, it's there, and it's gorgeous. He's a freaking Greek god, okay? So Andor trailer looks neat. I need to see the first season. Shozama, you should. Again, like I said, in my opinion, this is my opinion. I think Andor season 1 is better than. I think it's the best thing since the original trilogy, and I'm including the Clone Wars. I'm including Rebels. I'm including all the things. I think Andor is that good. It's shockingly good. Like, I remember watching it going, I cannot believe that this is this good. Because it's done on location. It's not doing the volume or anything like that. And it's got an actual story to tell. As good as sliced bread, let's not kid ourselves, okay? Sliced bread is way up there. Especially potato bread. Come on. Or brioche. Let's not get crazy here. But it's really good. Now, here's the thing. There's a lot of people that hated the trailer because of the music. And I just have to say two things. Number one, do you really think that music's going to be in the movie, in the show? No. This is promotional material. It's a commercial. And guess what commercials do? They try to get people who are not interested in the show to go, hey, I want to see that. And using a piece of music like that could get someone that's not interested in Star Wars to go, hey, that looks pretty good. I want to see that. I actually liked it. I thought it was fine as a piece of promotional material, which is what a trailer is. I thought it was fine. The music, the visuals were holy crap good. Like, holy crap good. I love the look of this trailer. I'm so excited. I almost said I can't wait, but of course I can wait because there's no choice for me. I either will die before it comes out. I mean, I hope not. Or I'm going to watch it. Waiting is just part of the thing. I can wait. I will wait. Hyperbole, not good. But yeah, I'm excited for it. I'm excited for it, and I'm more excited than, a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff coming out this year that I know about, that we've talked about and all that kind of stuff. This has got to be way up there, top of the list, if not the top, because I don't know if you know this, but I'm a big Star Wars fan. So, just saying. So yeah, Andor looks good. I've avoided the trailer since I have not finished season 1 yet. Movie Mike, very wise. Very wise. But I will tell you, I'm excited. It looks amazing. There are things that I'm like, I don't know what's going on here, but I love the way it looks. The way, look, people have disagreed with me many times on this, but the thing that I love about Star Wars, or I shouldn't say that. The thing that I love about good storytelling is that it is sort of universal, right? A good story can be told in just about any genre, any time period, whatever. If you take the Star Warsness out of the story of Andor and you're left with what? A great story. That's the way everything should be written. Any type of IP, intellectual property for the nasty. Star Trek, Alien, Blade Runner, Jurassic Park, Marvel movie, whatever. If you take the IP out of it, you should still be left with great characters and a great story. Period. That's the way it should work. If you have to lean on all that other stuff, then you've got a problem. You've got a story problem. If you look at Andor season 1, in my opinion, you take the Star Wars out of it, you're still left with a fantastic story. A great story. A story about revolution. A story about being oppressed and what it means for the oppressed to rise up and fight back. It's a great story. It's a fantastic story. Then you put the Star Wars back into it, and you've got something that is, again, in my opinion, the best thing since the original trilogy. That's how I look at it. And the thing that I love about Noah Hawley, who is running he's the showrunner for the new Alien series, he said we started with a great story, and that's what we wanted. We wanted the great story to be there, and then we added Alien into it. So I'm like, oh my God, that's exactly what I want to hear. Does it mean it's going to be good? I don't know. Because man, talk about an IP that has been all over the place. It's Alien. I mean, wow. Ups and downs and good and bad and some, just absolute terrible stuff and some like really awesome stuff, like surprisingly good stuff. And then followed by something that's so confusing and like, what the hell are you all even thinking? I'm excited for Alien Earth. I think it's going to be good. But that's what he said about it, and I'm excited about that. Reacher isn't really my kind of show, but I totally understand the appeal. But the success of the show means there might be a new season of Blue Mountain State. Go Goats. I didn't see Blue Mountain State. But I understand that too. I understand that. You watch that and you go, yeah, okay. I get it, but no. I like it. Same cryberries. Cryberries? That's the alternate version of strawberries. It's cryberries. Hey, just go eat your cryberries, you Kathleen Kennedy haters. And anyway, crybabies who whined about the music in the Gladiator 2 trailer. Wink. I also didn't like that music. And you know what? Here's the thing. If you would have asked me, hey, this song, do you think that works in this Andor trailer? I'd go, not really. But the more that I thought about it, the more I was like, okay, this isn't for me. This trailer is not for me. This trailer is not pointed directly at me, targeted to me. Because guess what? I knew when they said, hey, Andor season 2's coming, I'm like, I'm going to watch that. I don't need a reason to go watch that. But the people that have not been watching Star Wars, you look at the trailer and the way that it's put together. It's really cool action. A blurb from a review that talks about how great Andor season 1 was. Some really cool action. Here's another blurb of how great Andor is. You know what I mean? That trailer is for people who didn't watch the first season. So the music doesn't really matter and it doesn't appeal to me, but that doesn't matter because I'm going to watch the show anyway. So that's how I look at it. But yeah, that first Gladiator 2 trailer, it just didn't work. But then again, I didn't even need to see that trailer because I was going to see that movie anyway because it's Ridley. And Bucho, okay, so Shozama asked Bucho if Gladiator 2 was any good. I was saving funds during that time. It was in the theater. And then Bucho said he hadn't seen it yet. Here's the thing. If you're going in expecting a really, really solid a solid movie, I mean, I'd say it's a pretty solid movie, but the problem is, um, it's okay. It's just okay. Some of the action is really cool, but then some of it's like, okay, that's clearly fake and that looks fake, you know? But it's Ridley, you know? So if you like Ridley Scott, if you like the original Gladiator, you might go, hey, there's some fun to be had here. But don't expect it to be anywhere close. Like if the original Gladiator is like an 8.5 or a 9 out of 10, I think I think a lot of people would agree. What's interesting is watching them back to back. But anyway, 8.5 to a 9. This is like a 7. 6.5 to 7. It's not great, but it's pretty good. Honestly, I wouldn't pay full price for it. Like, it just came out digitally. I wouldn't pay full price to watch that. No. Pay the $6 or whatever it is to rent it. And then, if you really like it, then yeah, sure, go buy the 4K. But I don't think that that's a full price kind of movie. It's just not. It's not that great. It's not that good. But what's interesting is watching the like I watched Gladiator 1, and then the next week I watched Gladiator 2. So Gladiator 1 is fresh in my mind to how it looked, the way that the sets were, the digital work that was done in the year 2000 was when Gladiator came out. Watching Gladiator 2, it was like, oh my God, everything looks so much better. Because that first Gladiator, man, some of the effects are bad. And it's because of the age of the effects, right? It did not age well. It's a great movie, and it acted, in my opinion, a lot better than the second one. But yeah, the effects look bad. And then I watch Gladiator 2, and you're like, oh my God, look at how everything looks. It looks amazing. So there you go. The cryberries taste like cryberries. Yeah, exactly. Schnozberries. I agree about the need for a show to stand on its own and not be dependent on the franchise. It is the difference between Star Trek the Motion Picture and Wrath of Khan. The second stands on its own. Okay. So Movie Mike, I'm not sure I understand that, because I think that the reason that Star Trek 2 works as well as it does is because of your knowledge of those characters. I don't know if it does stand on its own. I mean, it's a good movie. Here's the thing. I really like the motion picture too. I think the motion picture is very, maybe criminally underrated. I love that movie. Okay? I love it. I just do. V'ger, man. V'ger. I love that movie. I watched it when they recently, and this was before the discs, the disc came out, but Paramount Plus put out the 4K restored edition or whatever the hell, director's cut. I loved it. And I went, man, I love this movie. And a lot of people say, oh, well, the odd number treks are not good. I love one. I don't care. I don't care what anybody says. I think one's great. But okay, by that rationale, absolutely, Movie Mike. Star Trek 2 is one that non-Trek fans can enjoy without really having any knowledge of the franchise. I'm not sure if I feel that way about the motion picture. Yeah, but even some Star Trek fans they don't like one as much. But the thing is like, I'm not even a huge Star Trek guy. I've never seen the original series, and it's sitting over here waiting in my watch list. It's coming soon. I'm going to be watching the original series the first time. And I know it's going to be difficult because, man, I have trouble with some of those effects and some of the man, it's going to be a challenge, but I want to do it. I need to make it through the whole thing. I need to. I just have to. And then I want to watch Next Generation. Next Generation, I didn't even try to watch Next Generation back in the day because I couldn't get over the effects. I'm going to try to make it through everything. Because I feel like I owe it. The storytelling is what's important, and I think I need to give it a shot because I like good storytelling. But anyway. I get what you're saying though. I get what you're saying, but man, I love the first one so much. I really do. To me, it's kind of like it's not the same, but it's almost like Alien and Aliens. Like there are some people who would say that Aliens, James Cameron, right? You know, let's rock, game over, man, game over. That's a better movie than Alien. I can't agree with that. Being an Alien fan as I am, as much as I love James Cameron, as much as I love, Hicks and Vasquez and Hudson and Gorman and Newt and every Paul Reiser, Burke. As much as I love that movie, and I've watched many parts of that movie frame by frame. Seriously, frame by frame. Back in the day. Alien hits all the notes for me. To me, Alien is the better movie. But there are people that disagree with that. I think motion picture is better than Wrath of Khan. Even though I love Wrath of Khan. In fact, Wrath of Khan is the only is it? I think Wrath of Khan is the only, I mean, besides the J.J. Abrams Star Trek, that era of Star Trek, because my wife liked that, so we bought them all. And I liked it. I liked that first one especially. I actually liked that one. But I think it's the only one that I own physically. But I kind of want the motion picture in 4K because I really enjoy that movie. Anyone here, I'm going to just end this poll because, I mean, seriously, 21% want to watch the Oscars, and that's fine. But hey, I'm just going to put this out there. I'm going to be watching the Oscars is going to be free on Hulu. I say free. It's going to be available on Hulu. So if you have Hulu, you can watch the Oscars. My plan is to watch the Oscars and be in the premiere chat. On the Discord, there's a premiere chat thing that I created for stuff that we watch together kind of thing. So if you want to hang out and watch the Oscars, chat, cool. We'll do it. Yeah. Be in the chat. Just chat along. If you want. If you don't want to, no big deal. But I'm definitely gonna be doing it because I'm probably gonna watch it. Because it's Conan O'Brien, man. And there's some movies in that I have a little bit of knowledge about for the Oscars, but yeah. Anyone else into Tulsa King? Good show. I've heard that. I still haven't watched it. That's another one that I just still haven't watched. I still need to get caught up on Paradise on Hulu. If you don't know anything about Paradise, don't watch a trailer. In fact, you could probably watch a trailer, but don't read anything about it. Just go watch it. Paradise is a good show. I need to get caught up on Paradise. Need to watch that. I want to watch Shrinking on Apple TV Plus. I still haven't watched any Ted Lasso. I hear Ted Lasso is fantastic, and I know I'm probably going to like that. I haven't watched it. There's a lot of stuff I haven't watched. But Tulsa King I didn't watch. I haven't watched 1923 just started back up, didn't it? And I don't think I finished the first season. So, yeah. I liked Andor seeing the bureaucracy of the Empire, the banality of evil. Yes. I loved that side of it. It was so cool. Because it's something we had never seen. We'd never seen that before. And it was so awesome. Man, I love that stuff. But hey, I'm also a Star Wars dork, so. I was being a scallywag too. I know Rob and some others in here had a problem with the Music Gladiator 2 trailer, and fair enough, we all have our different sensibilities. And we're not I mean, here's the thing. I think most people in general, when we don't like something, we're crybabies. And the internet has given voice to a lot of the cry babies. But hey, there are things that don't work for me that work fine for others too. Yeah. Kind of cheesy, but sometimes fun. I still want to watch Tulsa King. Okay, wait. Everything just... I really wish you'd stop sticking up for Kathleen Kennedy because I got in a fight with her in an Aldi and she's a real butthole. I didn't know. I didn't know that you fought Kathleen Kennedy. Like a fist fight? That's awesome. And John Michael, I see you there. Hello, sir. By the way, finished all the coffee. Some were good, some were just fine. But I'll tell you, after having that coffee and now going back to the Cafe Bustelo, the Cafe Bustelo kind of sucks. So I'm going to have to find myself a new coffee because of you. So thanks. I genuinely thank you for that. It was very, very kind of you to send me all those things. But also thank you because I didn't realize how bad this coffee was. It's really not good. So we're going to try to get something better. Yeah. Let's see. Pleasantly, so yeah, Tulsa King. Okay. X-Files, the first movie, definitely needs to be watched by someone who watches all the episodes. That is absolutely true because, I mean, they tried to do it in a way where it's kind of like if you just watched that movie and didn't watch the series, you'd kind of know what's going on. But there's a lot that just doesn't make sense if you hadn't watched the show. So yeah, I agree with that. Plot twist, only Star Trek I've ever seen is Galaxy Quest. There you go. The effects from the original are laugh out loud bad at times, like when you see the stunt double in the fight scenes for extended periods and they don't even try to hide it. I know it's going to be that way and I'm just going to do it. Macross. Alien Resurrection is my favorite one out of them, but that's me. Alien Resurrection is your favorite out of all the Alien movies? The one by Jean-Pierre Jeunet? Is that right? The director of Amelie, which is an amazing movie. If you haven't seen Amelie, seriously, go watch that. Find it no matter how. No, I don't care how you watch it, but you need to see that. That is one of the best movies ever. So good. I honestly have trouble even comparing Alien and Alien. Same universe, but such different storytelling. Alien is horror suspense versus action. Alien is the better picture in my opinion. I mean, I agree with that, but I totally get when somebody says that I love Aliens and I don't like Alien as much. I get that. I think that's almost a personality thing. You know, like some people are peacocks and some are owls or something. I don't remember. The personality trait thing, whatever. But yeah. Star Trek Season 2, the season finale was a damn clip show. So disappointing. Oh, okay. All right. I hated Star Trek for years until I started watching it to have something to talk about with my D&D group. It became my space soap opera. Started with TNG. Well, there you go. See, I don't have any of that. And I've never done the D&D thing. So, text chat or voice chat? Carbonite, that is a text chat. But I mean, I guess if we wanted to do a voice chat, we could. I was just going to watch it and we could just chat, text chat, post memes and, if you want to post a picture of your butt, I mean, I guess you could. I'm just going to say it's not necessary to post pictures of your butt while we're watching the Oscars. I know that might be controversial, but I just said it. I can't believe it's 9:08 and we haven't talked about James Bond at all. Wow. Or the rest of the news. I'm working on my way through them. That and Supernatural. Supernatural is another one I'd love to watch. You just love that movie. And you know what, Star Fox? I'm going to give that to you. Because there are a lot of things I like about that movie. As bad as some of it is, I do like it. City of Lost Children. I'll stick with text. Okay. I mean, good. I mean, fair enough. I do want to bring this up for those of you who are a fan of Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. It is coming back to theaters April 25th. That might be a fun movie to watch in the theater. I mean, I saw it in the theater, so I'm not like dying to see it back in the theater, but hey, there you go. I'll be spamming pictures of my feet and TMNT figures if you guys are there. Be looking out for you. Okay. I also want to bring this to your attention for those of you who are He-Man fans. Anybody a fan of He-Man? We got our first look at the live action He-Man. First image from Travis Knight's Masters of the Universe movie starring Nicholas Galitzine. That's the first image of He-Man. I'm waiting to see Man-E faces. Because he's got multiple faces. He's got, some would say, many faces. So his name is Man-E Faces. Man-E Faces. Get it? Many face, like he's got many Man-E faces. So, there you go. And Sigourney in that movie. Oh. The first Alien movie since I started late on those movies. Okay, I mean, that's fair. Oh, that opening shot, though. I know, Chris. Revenge of the Sith is... I mean, look. I haven't watched the 4Ks of Star Wars very much, but wow. That is a fantastic start to that movie. And yes, you're right. You're right. Are they going to give him the pink outfit too? I mean, who knows, Ninjinzu? Who knows? It is He-Man. I will watch it. I mean, movie might go for it. That I'll be honest with you. That is not for me. Because I have and I know this is a controversial thing to say, especially in my age group, but I never liked He-Man. I thought Skeletor's voice was stupid. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. When you have characters like Man-E faces, it irritates the hell out of me because it's like really, you couldn't come up with a better name than Man-E faces. Anyway, but hey, I'm happy that you're getting stuff that you want to watch. I thought you were going to see Nicolas Cage for He-Man. They should have done it. I mean, I don't know about that. The Eternian Sun doesn't tan you. Inaccurate. Man-E faces is almost like Hugh Janus. Exactly. Yes. Or Pat McCrotch. Yes. Pat McCrotch. Reacher should have been He-Man. I mean, right? Also, just to let you know, I mean, I'm sure most of you know some of this stuff, especially if you're in the Discord. If you're not in the Discord, hey, we have Discord. We hang out, we chat sometimes, we do things, we put news and things. But Avatar sequel set after Legend of Korra called Seven Havens, ordered at Nickelodeon. So hey, we're getting a sequel. Here's the thing. I loved Avatar: The Last Airbender. I loved it. Loved it. I still haven't watched Legend of Korra. I don't want to taint, not as in taint, but I don't want to taint my memory of The Last Airbender because I've heard Legend of Korra is a little divisive. Has anybody seen it? Do you like it? But hey, here's the thing. New Avatar. New Avatar. New Avatar. New Avatar. Anyway. Next on the list is, of course, that Amazon MGM gains creative control of 007. Producers Barbara Broccoli and Michael G. Wilson step back, and it cost MGM an extra $1 billion plus. If anybody's wondering why Barbara Broccoli and Michael Wilson took a step back, hey, you guys have complete control, is because it was an extra $1 billion plus paid to them. So yeah, there's that. And here's the thing. You may or may not know this about me, but I love the Bond movies. I love it. I love it so oh so much. I do. Where's the thing? Here's that. Yeah, I love it so much. Can you name the Bond movies off the top of your head in order? I can. Doctor No, From Russia with Love, Goldfinger, Thunderball. I always forget this one, but it's You Only Live Twice. You Only Live Twice or Twos. If you're a Hong Kong DVD manufacturer, You Only Live Twice. But then, On Her Majesty's Secret Service, Diamonds Are Forever, Live and Let Die, Man with a Golden Gun, The Spy Who Loved Me, Moonraker, For Your Eyes Only, Octopussy, View to a Kill, Living Daylights, License to Kill, Goldeneye, Tomorrow Never Dies. Oh my gosh, I'm going blank. World Is Not Enough. Is that right? The World Is Not Enough. What's the next one? Did he only do 4? I have to start over. Dr. No, From Russia with Love. Goldfinger, Thunderball. You Only Live Twice. On Her Majesty's Secret Service, Diamonds Are Forever, Live and Let Die. Man with a Golden Gun. Spy Who Loved Me. Moonraker. For Your Eyes Only, Octopussy, View to a Kill. Living Daylights, License to Kill, Goldeneye, Tomorrow Never Dies, World Is Not Enough. Is Die Another Day next? Did he only do 4? I can't remember. Now I'm getting messed up. I feel like Pierce didn't he do 5? Or did he only do 4? I think he only did 4, right? Anyway, after Die Another Day, there's Casino Royale. There's Quantum of Solace. There's Skyfall, Spectre, No Time to Die. Anyway, hey, I might have missed one. Never Say Never Again doesn't count because it's not an official Bond release. Neither is the original Casino Royale with Peter Sellers. That one doesn't count either. But there you go. But look, here's the thing. I love the Bond movies. Now I have to look. But yeah, I love the Bond movies so much. Okay, those are those. No, that was it. That was it. He only did 4. So GoldenEye, I thought Tomorrow, I got them all. I'm happy. But I love the Bond movies so much. I mean, this is basically they're great. They're great. Now here's the thing. If you're a Bond fan, what do you think they should do? Should they just continue on? Right? I'm pretty sure you nailed the order. Yes, not Gary. I did, and for some reason I got confused and I thought that Pierce Brosnan did 5, but he only did 4. GoldenEye, Tomorrow Never Dies, World Is Not Enough, and Die Another Day. By the way, which one is your favorite song? What's your favorite Bond song? Because a lot of people would probably say, what? I mean, I don't even know. I mean, there's so many great artists to choose from. But my favorite, the one that I've listened to the most, like I've literally listened to this song multiple times, way outside of a Bond experience or watching Bond movies. It's The Living Daylights by Aha. I love that song so much. And I really like the acoustic version that they did was awesome. Just a couple years ago. Beautifully done. Chris, I found the last 3 Bond movies to be boring, so I'm indifferent. I gotta be honest with you, man. I don't think Bond was in the best place. I hated No Time to Die. The last one, which I own in 4K. That movie sucks. I'm sorry. The thing that I've said this before, but I hate the fact that Bond was so, even though I really liked Casino Royale, I thought that was a great way to start Daniel Craig off in the Bond franchise. I can't stand the fact that they made him so damn moody. I mean, here's the thing. Bond is supposed to be what? A suave, sophisticated, knowledgeable badass. And the reason that, look, Robert Meyer Burnett says this all the time. He drinks the best liquor. He drives the best cars. He sleeps with the best women. And why? Because he could die at any moment. He is a lover of life because he knows he could die at any moment. I know that this is not even in the Bond series, but it's something that is said in Austin Powers about Austin Powers. And it fits with Bond, with what Bond is. Women want to be with him, men want to be him. I don't know. I love the story in Moonraker. You know what? The first time I watched Moonraker was like way after it came out. And I thought, man, this movie sucks. You know what? I really like that movie now. I think it's way better than most people give it credit for. I liked it. So, I don't know. The Phantom is getting a side-scroller beat 'em up. That's interesting. Cliche answer, but I would say Live and Let Die by McCartney and Covered by Guns N' Roses. Movie Mike, I mean, look. Here's the funny thing. You want to see something funny? Look at what I'm listening to right now as part of my when I'm hiking and stuff. This is what I've been listening to. You see this? You know what that is? Yeah, of course you do. Or maybe you don't. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. But it is the Use Your Illusion Super Deluxe. I've been listening to that, and yeah, that's a great song. I mean, I really love their Knocking on Heaven's Door too, though. It's really good. But yes, that's a great song. Goldfinger. But I mean, dude, seriously, almost all the songs are kind of bangers. They're kind of really good. They're really good songs. And the song I listen to so much is The World Is Not Enough. Yes. Great. I pretty much wore out my old James Bond soundtrack CD way back when. Hard to pick a favorite, but for some reason I always loved You Only Live Twice quite a bit. Yes. Is that? Hold on a second. Let me see if it's here. It is here. So again, I have the DVD set, the official DVD set, but I also have this. This was on DVD, and it's a Hong Kong bootleg of the Bond collection. You want to know how I used to memorize the Bond movies? Yeah, that's how. So it's got them all there. But here's the funny thing. I've shown this before. I know I have. You only live twice. You only live, or twice? You only live twice. Again, here's the thing about Bond. Some of those movies they're shit, okay? Some of them are really bad. Like, really bad. You only live twice. I must call it You Only Live Twice. You Only Live Twice is seriously one of the dumbest movies. They cut his hair like a chili bowl and give him a bit of a tan, and all of a sudden people thinks he's Japanese. That's stupid. That is so dumb. Okay? It's problematic. Okay? It is a problematic movie because it's kind of racist. But what's funny is, and it's something that I didn't realize until somebody brought it up in John Campia's chat. He said a lot of the 70s Bond movies are more sexist to the female characters than the Connery era. And I was like, holy crap, you're right. You're really right, man. Some of those Roger Moore ones, they're literally eye candy, and that's it. Not a brain in their head. You know, they're like bimbos. A lot of the Bond girls in the Roger Moore era. But then, what's funny is you have what was her name in the Avengers, the TV show, The Avengers. And her last role was in uh Last Night in Soho. Very famous actress. One Way to Live is Twos. Yes, exactly. But dude, I'm telling you, I cracked up so much when I opened that. Saw, oh my gosh, I have a copy of You Only Live Twice. But you know what? It's funny about those. They're complete bootlegs, but they work, and that was cheap. That was back in the day when I was look. I'll be honest with you. Back in those days, I was downloading everything. Okay, and I got a bootleg because it was cheaper to own the bootleg than it was to buy the real thing. That's just, yes, Diana Rigg. Thank you, Movie Mike. I couldn't come up with her name. She's the Bond girl in On Her Majesty's Secret Service in 1969 with the second Bond in the list there, George Lazenby. George Lazenby only made one Bond film, and George Lazenby is Australian, and they dubbed him. But anyway, Diana Rigg is one of the strongest female characters in the history of Bond. She's awesome. But look, man, here's the thing. I have a love for the Bond movies, even the bad ones. They're kind of like martial arts movies in a way, where some of them are like, I know this is bad, but I still enjoy it. But here's the thing. What do you do with Bond? I mean, in GoldenEye, Judi Dench plays M, right? The new M, right? So in GoldenEye, we got a new M and we got a new Bond, right? Judi Dench as M, Pierce Brosnan as James Bond. And she says to him, "You're a sexist, misogynist dinosaur, a relic of the Cold War." That was true in 95 when that movie came out, 30 years ago. It's even more apparent now. So what do you do with somebody who really... James Bond is based on Ian Fleming, right? When Ian Fleming wrote it, and he was a covert ops guy during World War II and after. So how do you come up? I mean, the way that we fight war is so different now. You know, the way that we fight is so different. So what is it that James Bond can do in today's world that will make sense? And one of the other points that people have made over and over and over again is that really James Bond has been outdone by all of these other action movies in the past 15, 20 years, right? The Bourne movies, the Mission Impossible movies, they've out-Bonded Bond. So what sets Bond apart is that he's a team of one, right? So how do you make that character? Who do you get that can really drive or basically make Bond stand on its own from all these other action films that have been coming out? It's a really interesting question. Some people have said, well, why don't you just set Bond back in the 1960s? A good point would be made is, number one, there are plenty of Bond movies set in the 60s if you want the 60s. Number two, because of the track record of Amazon, I would not put it past them to inject today's sensibilities into the 60s and make it make no sense. So I don't know what the answer is, and I'm in a way I'm kind of happy. It's the same thing with Kathleen Kennedy, being retiring. Sure, I'm up for a new direction, but I don't know what that direction is going to be, and that's what scares me. With Amazon, it's exactly the same way. Exactly the same. We could get some really amazing stuff out of this new era of James Bond because it's not going to be tied to it. I mean, and seriously, it's a British product. It's a British story written by a British man. I mean, a British. Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. Ian Fleming is one of the characters in that movie. You know that, right? Because it's loosely based on a true story. Ian Fleming's one of the characters in that movie. And it's based on his time as a covert agent. Right? So part of the thing that scares me about this new creative direction that Amazon might take is that they would dilute it by making so many TV series. They would I don't know, hire an American actor to play Bond or just make him American. Because to me, part of the reason that Bond was so attractive to me is because he felt like he was from a different country, which he was. He was on Her Majesty's Secret Service. So I don't know, man. And that's another thing. It's not Her Majesty anymore. It's His Majesty. There's a lot of things. But he's a British product. He's a British character written by a British covert agent. I'm scared what they're going to do, but you never know. You never know what they're going to do. So what say you? But I mean, here's the thing. I don't know if Bond works today. So the fact that here's a slight spoiler alert for No Time to Die if you haven't seen it. I'm going to put my arms up and I'm going to talk. When I put my arms down, if you want to mute it, now's the time. And then when I put my arms down, I'll stop saying spoilers. Okay, you ready? All right. Here's the spoiler for No Time to Die. 3, 2, 1. They killed James Bond in No Time to Die. But then they said James Bond will return. What? So, I'll just say this. It almost seems fitting because it is the final movie that Barbara Broccoli and Michael G. Wilson will have anything to do with it. But I don't know. So we'll see. You can unmute. I just don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do, and I'm curious what they're going to do. I'm scared, but I'm curious, and I'll probably watch it, whatever it is. And the thing is, Amazon's made some crap, absolute crap, but they've made some really great stuff too. So I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. So here's a movie book connection. Goldfinger name comes from Ian Fleming's neighbor, Erno Goldfinger, one of the two Jewish-Hungarian architects that is the basis for Laszlo Toth, the main character of the brutalist Laszlo Toth, played by Adrian Brody. Interesting. Bond doesn't work with modern audiences, but here's the thing. The Daniel Craig era of Bond did great box office wise. No Time to Die made $775 million worldwide, I believe. Skyfall made over $1 billion. I think if I'm not mistaken, because I looked this up earlier, I think Spectre made like $881 million worldwide or something like that. Very close to that. That's some good freaking money. So even though it doesn't work with modern audiences, it still seems to be one of those things that, man, people go see it. So I don't know, man. I don't know. But my biggest problem with Bond is that and I'm talking about the series as a whole, they got to where they were, instead of setting trends, they were just following trends. And it seemed like more and more like Moonraker. The reason they did Moonraker the way they did is because it was it was 2 years after Star Wars came out, and they were like, oh well, let's put James Bond in space. Now, I mean, yes, Moonraker was whatever, but I don't know. And then God, Skyfall. There are set pieces that are literally lifted directly from Dark Knight, and it's upsetting. I want Bond to set trends, not follow them. But I don't know. That's really interesting, Shozama, though. Thank you for that. That was really cool. Kind of random, but wanted to share. You should be proud. I'm going to the movie theater tomorrow to watch a film. Well, a concert film. KP Senti, it counts. You going to the theater it doesn't matter what it is. You go to the theater to watch anything. I'm happy about it. So, good for you. GoldenEye is the best 007 game ever, which would be number 2. Wraith, welcome. I don't know. I was just going to bring up the Bourne movies, Bond for this generation. I mean, yes, but it's like I said, I think the thing is there's still a huge market for James Bond. So I just don't know. I don't know. Who's more badass, Jason Bourne or Ethan Hunt? I think on a one-on-one, I'd give it to Bourne. He will end up being a secret agent who masquerades as an Amazon driver, takes out the bad guy and gets the packages delivered on time. Working title, product placement, movie mic. Don't even joke about that. Because if they do that, I'm going to punch you directly in the mouth. I won't. Number one, I don't know where you are. And number two, I'm not a violent person. I'm just not. I don't lash out at people. I say things. That's pretty much all I do. I'd say things. John Wick or Dom Toretto or Austin Powers. Remake James Bond Jr. I wouldn't be surprised if they do a young James Bond. But here's the thing. I want more James Bond movies, but I could definitely see them do sort of spin-off series. But again, it's diluting it. But this is the thing that we all have to keep in mind. When it comes to an intellectual property, they don't care if it's good. All they care is it's profitable. That's it. They don't care if you're happy about it. They don't care if I'm happy about it. They care if they make money off of it. And my guess is pretty much anything they do will get at least an initial audience. I just hope that they get somebody who cares. That's all I want. Get somebody who cares. It scares me because I'm a huge fan of, I bought bootlegs. I got the official DVD set. I've got the official Blu-ray set. I love James Bond. I just don't know what they're going to do. I don't know. Hope New York City is treating you well this evening. Yeah, I hope so too, Wraith. I hope so too. It treats me accordingly. I mean, did you ever do top 5 or top 10 movie posters video? No, I did not. And why? Because I probably forgot. But I don't know. In fact, I don't even know. See, next week's going to be weird too. Because there's what's coming out next week? Mickey 17. And then on Saturday, they're doing an early screening of Novocaine, which I really want to see. So if you're interested in Novocaine, you can go see it. You can look around at your local theater and see if they're doing an early screening event for Novocaine. Comes out March 8th, I think. Is that Saturday? I believe, if I'm not mistaken. I will be doing a review that night. Sure, probably. But yeah, I don't even know what my video is going to be this week. Because last week I just skipped because of the monkey, and I was like, I don't really have anything to do. And look, I'll be honest with you, I didn't watch nearly as much stuff as I usually do. That I report to you guys, because my wife is off, and we did stuff, and we watched things together, and most of it wouldn't count. Wouldn't count. So yeah. I do want to bring this up real quick, Wraith. I'll get to that in just a second, sir. I did want to bring this up for those of you who are interested in the UAP, UFO type movie things. Couple of news items. First up, The Age of Disclosure, which is a documentary that kind of looks awesome because there's not going to be any new footage or anything like that, but it's got a lot of military folks, senior members of the U.S. government, military, and intelligence community that reveals an 80-year cover-up of the existence, blah, 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 blah. It's supposed to be really good. It's 109 minutes. And it screens for the first time March 9th at South by Southwest. So, yeah. Principal cast: Lou Elizondo, Jay Stratton, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Senator Rounds, Senator Gillibrand, General Jim Clapper, Dr. Eric Davis, Dr. Hal Puthoff, Christopher Mellon, Representative Carson. So there's quite a few folks in this movie. It is a documentary, and it premieres on March 9th if you're interested. It premieres March 9th at South by Southwest. So if you live in Austin, I guess if you want to go, you could. Otherwise, yeah, it should be coming soon. And also in the news, when it comes to UAP, UFO movie news, no, we're not talking about Steven Spielberg. We're talking about Joseph Kosinski and Jerry Bruckheimer eyeing a reteam on the UFO disclosure themed feature, The Dish. Now, here's what's funny. The Dish was the working title of Steven Spielberg's UFO movie. So, and now that movie has been being called Disclosure. So what does that mean? I don't know. But supposedly two, count them, two movies around the UFO/UAP phenomena. Disclosure by Steven Spielberg, and now The Dish by Joseph Kosinski and Jerry Bruckheimer. So yeah, there you go. There's your news. And that's the end of the news. The end of the news. What are your top 5 album covers of the 90s? Oh, I will need a quick favor if possible for the Retropalooza video I'm doing. Won't take more than 10 minutes. I'll DM you the details. And begin. I'm also, in the last week, I have been asked for help on 2 separate projects. So, interesting things happening. We'll see what happens. I can't say anything about them yet. But, yes. Is this just acclamation? Spielberg has been involved in this since Close Encounters. Chris, you're not wrong. And yeah, I mean, there's, to me, it's like the whole idea of the frog in boiling water. You know, if your water's boiling and you put the frog in, the frog will jump out. But if you put the frog in the water and then slowly heat up the water, the frog will stay there until it boils to death. That's a really gruesome way of basically saying that I feel like we're slowly getting all of this trickle information. I mean, all the commercials that were at the Super Bowl last year, I think, and this year, maybe, I don't know. I didn't watch Super Bowl. With all the alien stuff. It's just weird, man. It's just weird. The drones, all the stuff. I'm not saying that, it's happening. I have been very, I said this in the Discord. I've been very, and I might have said it on here. I don't know. I don't know what I say. I say all kinds of things, but I feel like, the UAP UFO stuff, I'm tired of seeing people's heads speak about things. Oh, it was the most amazing thing I've ever seen. I wish I could show it to you, but you have to be in a skiff for me to tell you about it. Okay, well, I don't want to hear anything else. I don't want to hear or see or I don't want to see your face. What I want to see is freaking proof, man. Footage of things flying around, zipping around, and whatever. And I want to see the craft open up and Zingbot come down the stairs and talk directly into my brain. That's what I'm ready to see now. I don't need to hear any more stories. I've heard all the stories I need to hear. Oh, well, this thing came right up on our left side and it scared the crap out of me. Great. Great story. Now the proof. Proof. I'm tired. I'm sorry. I'm tired of hearing stories. As Carlo, as Carl Sagan says, and that Bucho says many times, repeats many times. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. I'm good with the stories. Now make with the evidence. Please. Anyway. Matt Helm is played in 1960s films by Dean Martin. Shares many qualities with Austin Powers, including his cover profession as a fashion photographer, Wrecking Crew, The Ambushers, Murderers Row, and The Silencers. Well, I mean, Austin Powers is a kind of an amalgamation of a bunch of different things, you know? So, yeah, makes sense to me. They're getting us ready. Get ready to be probed, chat. Ito Ramos, welcome. I didn't see you there. Did you just show up to say that? Because, I mean, if your first chat of the night is about probing, good on you. By the way, vaping some of that boysenberry nightmare custard bomb. I don't remember what it's called. Boysenberry something. It's good, but I'm getting down the bottom. Oh, by the way, we were supposed to have a liquid poll tonight. But I was checking the tracking on this liquid package. On Saturday, it was at my local distribution center. And I'm like, oh, cool. So I'm actually going to get it early. I'm going to get it in time for the stream. Awesome. I checked Monday morning. It was in San Antonio, which is, 3-4 hours south of me. Why did it come to my local thing, the same city in which, I live, and then goes to San Antonio, and now it's back up here as of like noon today. I'm like, what the hell? So anyway, hopefully next week, the liquid poll will return. But we might have, the poll itself might have to be separate because for some reason, YouTube is only giving me 2 options in the poll. It's not giving me the option to give more than 2 options. It literally says ask a question, optional, yes, no. And there's no place to hit the button to add an option. It's not doing it. So we might have to do an outside, I don't even know what that means. Like, why is it doing that? I don't know. That Sagan quote you mentioned last week about lack of critical thinking leading to being seduced by charlatans. I'm just saying. Oh, snap. It's a Sagan quote off. Yes. Dude, Carl Sagan was a freaking man. The freaking man. I mean, it's the reason why at least once a year I have to watch Cosmos. And now, since I can't put it on the shelf, I mean, I probably could. I probably could fit Cosmos back on the shelf because there's a lot of room in the Blu-ray section. But I got a lot of Blu-rays coming. There's a lot of Blu-rays down here. So I don't know. But I love my Cosmos. I get seduced by anyone with a good hat. Really. Does this help? If I'm wearing this, would you be all like, oh yeah, I'll do whatever you want? It's my driving hat. Or I could be like, freaking Samuel L. and wear it like that. That looks goofy. But when I had no hair, this was awesome. When I shaved my head. Sell me anything you want. Okay. Wesley Snipes style? Yeah, I think Samuel L. Jackson when it's backwards, but hey. I still remember being very high in 10th grade science class and the teacher was playing the Cosmos all week. I love that. I love that series so much. I love it so much. Let me see. Did I talk about everything? So start Revenge of the Sith, April 25th. Kathleen Kennedy, gone. Soon. He-Man. Avatar. Bond. Age of Disclosure, and The Dish. Yeah, we covered it all tonight. I gotta say, man, this has been a really fun. This has been a fun. What you watched? Yeah, I watched Edge of Tomorrow and The Exorcist, which was fantastic. And then I got caught up on Severance and watched the first 3 episodes of Reacher. Now, again, because there were 3 separate commentaries on here, I ended up watching The Exorcist 4 times, almost like back to back to back. I watched the director's cut. Then I watched the director's cut with the commentary, and then the commentary on the theatrical cut, and then the second. Yeah, so 4 times I watched The Exorcist this week. So yeah, going through this completely kind of made it where I didn't watch any other movies. But it was worth it because that movie's great. Gotta bounce. Thanks for the streams. Later, homeboys. Not Gary. Have a good one. I'm about to head out too because I've been talking for 3 hours. So, any movies planning to watch in the theater review? Yes. Well, I mean, not until next week. I might go ahead and go see A Complete Unknown this week. I don't know if I'm going to have time for The Brutalist. That's a long movie. So it's 3 hours and 35 minutes with the 15-minute intermission. But I don't know if I can fit that in with everything that I got to do this week. So I don't know. Might see episode 3, depends on the price. True. I mean, it should be regular price, right? But no, this week, there's not a whole lot of... James Hong is 96? What? Wow. 3 days ago, February 22nd, 1929, James Hong. Wow. Lopan himself, 96 years old. Wow. I hope Anakin wins this time. What does he say? You underestimate my power. Look, here's the thing. I love Hayden Christensen, and I seriously wish that he would have had a better career. But man, some of his delivery in Revenge of the Sith is just bad. I'm sorry. I really love him. I really love him as a man, as a person who I admire as part of my favorite saga of my favorite IP of all time. But man, his delivery's bad. No, it's only because I'm so in love with you. And again, you can't blame it all on him. But man, wow. Some of that delivery is bad. Bad. And that's the thing, is like if you watch what is it, My Life as a House, right? Life as a House? Life as a House. The movie that came out before it came, I watched that movie, the Kevin Kline, right? That movie came out before episode 1 or episode 2. And I was like, holy crap, this kid's good. He was really good in that movie. I think he was really not great in 2 and 3. So I don't know. But again, I still like him. I still like Hayden Christensen. In fact, I thought he was really good in Ahsoka as Anakin. I thought he was good. Seinfeld 4. He's worked so much in all those years. I know, man. James Hong is awesome. Awesome. I love James Hong. I hate Joe. Yeah, he actually says it like Joe. Yeah. Anakin just playing the long game. He won in the end until somehow Palpatine returned. We don't talk about that. Anytime you say somehow something happened, that's bad. You blame George Lucas? I blame myself. Oh, James Hong was in the episode where Jerry and them went to get Chinese food. He was the hostess. Oh, I didn't realize that. You mean host? I haven't seen Seinfeld in a lot of years. But look, here's the thing. Happy birthday, James Hong, 96 years old. Great man. I love that man. But anyway, yeah, it's been a week. It's been a week. We talked about all the things. To sum up, even though Kathleen Kennedy is a legendary producer and will go down in history as one of the best, she wasn't a great studio head. She has some wins, she has some losses, and she has a whole bunch of she leaves an entire swath of announced projects that never came to fruition. James Bond is now not only solely owned by Amazon, but is creatively controlled by Amazon, and no telling what we're going to get. So, that's kind of scary. Andor season 2 looks awesome. Even if, the music choice for the trailer was a little suspect. We're getting a new Avatar. He-Man is coming. All those things. Rapid reviews number 1. Every episode of Lost. No. 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 And Blade Runner. Oh yeah, Blade Runner, man. The eye guy in Blade Runner. Awesome stuff. What I've seen. Love it. Or what you've seen through your eyes. Whatever he says. It's awesome. Great stream, Rob Man. Rufus, thank you so much. And you know what? You didn't have to stay quiet. You didn't. Vinny, damn it. You missed it. You missed the stream. But I'm trying to wrap up the stream here. I can't do a rapid review of every episode of Lost. Bucho, you know this. LOL, start over. No. Start over. No. You can kind of start over by, taking that little red thing, at the bottom, like right here. And you can drag it like this all the way to the beginning and then watch it. Great Rob stream, man. Yes, thank you. Thank you. How about one movie? One movie of what? What are you talking about? Sorry, I was busy using my stupid bike that I hate. Vinny, I'm happy that you're, taking your fitness, your fitness, your life into your hands, and you're doing something to better yourself. I love to hear that. Rapid review, Troy. How rapid do you need? Because I feel is pretty good for Troy. I didn't really like it. I like Eric Bana. I like Brad Pitt. It's Wolfgang Peterson, right? Isn't that right? It's fine. It's fine. Vinny got that eye of the tiger. A tiger on a bike. You know what? That's actually illegal in some countries. Tigers on bikes. Wasn't that Peter O'Toole's last movie? I don't know that. I do love Peter O'Toole though. If you want to see a good Peter O'Toole movie, watch Beckett with Richard Burton. Sure, that's me. Yes. Yes. Let's count how many times Brad Pitt stared off into the abyss in Troy. Ito, no. Didn't wait. Troy also had, yeah, because what's her face? Diane Kruger played Helen, right? And then Orlando Bloom played the boy that she kind of falls in love with, right? I mean, it's fine. It's a fine movie, but come on. The Odyssey. The Odyssey. Christopher Nolan and that insane cast. I'm excited about that. But look, here's the thing. Paris. Yes. Prince of Troy. Correct. But it's fine. It's fine. But here's the thing. We have all kinds of things happening in the chat on Discord. So if you want to join the Discord, hey, the Oscars are this Sunday. It's going to be on Hulu and it's hosted by Conan O'Brien. So we're going to be in the premiere chat in Discord. There's a premiere chat channel. If you want to be there, during the show and chat, we can chat. And if we want to do something live, we could, but I was just planning on being on the premiere chat. So we'll see. Anyway, I hope you guys have a great weekend. And I hope to see you next week, where we'll talk about things. All the things. Any of the things. We'll talk about most of the things, but not all the things. I appreciate you guys. I really do. And I mean that, right? You know that. Because if I didn't mean it, I mean, look at this face. Could I lie? Probably. Anyway, have a good one. Bye!
Boy.